we start the show, and the first thing that we're talking about is the blue titty milk from The Last Jedi, you know, I think it's going to be a good show.
That's how you know we're off to a good start.
That's how, yeah. I mean, I never stop thinking about it personally. It's invaded my thoughts and my dreams. Every waking moment is just that.
Every day. I want to try it. Maybe someday, hopefully, at like the Star Wars theme park, they'll come out with it.
Genetically engineer that creature, and I can suck its milk straight from the teat.
Disney. Let's go.
I'm just saying, when Luke was alone, you know, he didn't put in no cup, is all I'm saying.
Even when he wasn't alone. Right?
Did he?
When Ray's there, doesn't he just go in for it? Or am I mistaken?
Does he?
I think he goes in for it. I'm not sure, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to give it a rewatch to find out. But, hey, welcome to Stagler. It's episode Who Cares?
We're over 10 at this point.
We're over 10, so we've lost count.
When we get to 20, we'll let you know.
Are you keeping track?
Well, I mean,
somebody will
have
keep
the
track.
Numbers on YouTube.
We'll hire someone to keep track with all the money that we make from doing the show, because we definitely don't do the show at a loss that cannot continue.
Right.
True fact. But we're very happy. Well, I don't know if we're happy to be here. Are we happy to be here today? Because today,
I mean, I'm kind of excited.
We're talking about Transformers movies for the spotlight today, and I don't know.
Awesome.
You know, back in the day, you know, the good old days, and by that I mean 2 weeks ago when I had only seen one of these movies. You know, I was like, you know what? It can't be that bad. These Transformers movies, like I'm 15 hours into, like, past of seeing Transformers content. 15 hours of Transformers.
Yeah.
The Michael Bay film specifically, and I don't know, man. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
We're gonna find out if it was worth it, I guess, by the end of the day today. In the next 2 hours max.
Hopefully.
Today.
Last episode was long. This one probably won't be that.
This one should be zooming along pretty quick. But before we can get to any of that quick stuff, I'm Justin.
I'm Nick.
And we're about to get into our weeks, what we've been doing since the last episode. So,
yes, sir.
So what have you seen?
I've seen lots of TV shows.
Lots of TV. Very interesting.
First one I'll talk about is an anime called Fire Force.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a classic like shonen anime.
Is this anime this season, or is it older?
It's new. It's very new.
Very well.
Like the second season is like just now happening.
Gotcha.
It's basically about it's kind of like My Hero, except with firefighters.
Okay.
But there's like this thing that happened, and people will just like randomly combust, and they turn into these creatures called infernals, and they have the fire force. There's like the normal firefighters, and then the fire force. Mm-hmm. They go and they take care of like the infernals. They have to kill them or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. It has like probably like some of the best animation I've ever seen. Like the fight scenes and even just like the normal, just if people are talking, it's just like absolutely gorgeous.
So where are you watching this?
It's on Hulu and it's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Not everything's on Crunchyroll,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I watched it on Hulu. And get this, on Hulu, it only has dub. There's no sub for it. So I saw it in dub.
Interesting.
Which we had a question about like a few episodes ago.
How was it?
It is actually pretty good. There's a few people that I'm like, okay. But there's some that I like, kind of like Naruto. There's some that I like and some that I don't. But
can we talk about Naruto for a second? I don't mean to interrupt, but like
sure, yeah, we can talk about Naruto.
Right, true. Explain for what is that?
This is Rock Lee.
Okay.
This is him in his drunken style fist technique.
There you go. That's the shirt he's wearing.
Yeah.
I always liked English Naruto. I thought it was kind of in like, I don't know.
I think his catchphrase is better in the dub. Believe it is way better than Date Bayo.
Well, what is Date Bayo?
That's what he says in the sub.
I know, but doesn't it just mean believe it, or does it mean something else?
I don't think it does mean believe it.
Wow.
I can't remember.
Whoa.
I don't know.
You'd have to let me know.
Date
I always
Bayo.
liked him. I always liked Sasuke, who was Yuri Lowenthal doing Sasuke. I always thought he did a great job in that role. That's what always got to me. And Guy Sensei, always. We might have talked about it before, actually, but Guy Sensei was always a favorite of mine. His
he rocks.
Yeah.
So I found that Date Bayo literally has no meaning.
Great. That's what you always want.
It's just kind of nonsense.
Do people even do catchphrases anymore in media? Is that a thing that happens? When was the last time a person had a catchphrase?
What do you mean?
Like a catchphrase. When was the last time? Who's the last person you can think of who had a catchphrase? For me, it's Urkel. Did I do that?
Yeah.
I can't remember
not many.
anybody else. Catchphrases are like a thing that get made fun of more than a thing that happens anymore.
Wow.
You know?
That's true.
I should get a catchphrase.
Do it.
Blazooble.
Boom, we got it right here.
All right, there you
Blazooble,
go.
or whatever the heck you just said.
Blazooble. You can't have mine. That's mine. You can't say
I'm not
Blazooble.
going to take it. I'll think
That's
of one
my word.
maybe in the future.
Okay, good luck to you. Fire Force.
Oh, it can be La Tome, because they say that in Fire Force.
Oh, okay.
They say like a prayer over the...
Do they say Flameo?
No, they say La Tome.
Hotman? Flameo Hotman?
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. The story is it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's basically like a generic like shonen anime story, but it has some really interesting characters that I like, and it's pretty cool. And I mean, it's it's only got one season right now, so we'll see how the story evolves. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out for the future. But I also one brand new show just came out, and the second season of another show just came out.
Okay.
Literally on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
And they have both released 3 episodes.
Ooh.
And then now they're doing weeklies. First is Raised by Wolves, which came out on Thursday.
We talked about it.
We did.
A little
we
bit
talked
ago.
about the trailer. Ridley Scott and his team made Raised by Wolves this is a very like interesting show. It's like mega super hard sci-fi. So
high concept.
yeah, it's like super strange. Like the world is basically ended, and these 2 androids.
It's Earth, as far as you know.
No,
Oh, okay.
they're on a different planet. I forget the name of it. It's really weird.
Gotcha. Is it Blazooble?
No, actually, but they live on this. They have a mission, and they like fly in, and they get out, and they have all these like embryos in these like chambers or whatever, and then they grow them or whatever. They become people, and they have like 6 kids or whatever, and they're just gonna like raise the kids. The 2 androids are gonna raise these kids, like human children, like actual humans.
Yeah.
But like all of them die except for one of them because they're not very good.
Okay.
Well, they're good, but like the kids keep on getting sick and dying.
Gotcha.
And then you find out that there's like this like weird like I don't want to say like cult. I don't want to say like religious cult, but like kind of like religious cult, but like not really.
Okay.
Just like a religious group of people.
A religious fan club.
Sure.
Yeah.
That made like they call it the Ark. And when the world ended, they took a bunch of people on it, and they just like fly around in space on their Ark or whatever.
So it's very kind of 1-to-1 in that respect.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. But then you find out that like the mom is like, this is like mild spoilers, I guess.
Sure.
This is like all really early in the first episode. The mom, android, is actually what they call like a necromancer, which is what one of the beings, I guess, they're created. The necromancers are created, but they led to like the destruction of Earth. Like they are literally like murder machines.
Gotcha.
And the father is just like a normal android or whatever.
Yeah.
So the religious cult people come and they try to steal the one kid that's left, but the mom's like, nah, dude, that ain't gonna fly. So she like murders everyone. And I mean, when we talk about like gore, this is like some of the nastiest stuff. She is like exploding. She explodes like 45 people's bodies, and they just like on the wall.
It's like the ending of a
Suspiria.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Really super nasty. And then and there's like really strange creatures, and there's this interesting concept where, another mild spoilers right here, these people who want to get onto the Ark, but they can't get on the Ark because they don't have a ticket.
Gotcha.
So they meet like a android or whatever, and they get like face transplants.
Oh, like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta in Face Off.
Yeah. And it's really strange, but then they look exactly like people that are going to be on the Ark. So they go, and then they find the people that are going to be in the Ark, and they kill them.
Yeah.
But then they find out that those people had a son who's going to be on the Ark. So they have to pretend that they're his parents, but the kid just thinks that they're his parents.
Exactly.
But they're not.
Ooh,
And I just think that's a really interesting thing.
That's surprisingly,
see how that goes.
that what you explained is kind of catching me off guard, because that is a surprisingly human like interaction between things, and I was totally expecting just completely foreign alien concepts the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
So that's a very interesting direction for that to take. That is interesting. That's making me interested in the show.
It is. I think it's actually pretty good so far. The first 3 episodes, I was super engaged. Obviously, you can't really attach to, like, the android characters, but like the main kid, you can attach to, and some of the other human characters I enjoyed. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
it's off to a strong start, so I'm digging it.
very cool.
Raised by Wolves. But then we have big show, very popular show, The Boys.
The Boys
Had season 1 a few years ago.
It is Saturday.
Season 2 just came out literally yesterday. I watched it this morning, the first 3 episodes, and I am very pleased.
Are
so
you
far
familiar at all with the
comics?
Yeah, comic or is it a graphic novel? It doesn't matter.
Whatever. I don't know.
But you're not familiar with it at all?
No.
As far as I know, it's pretty faithful, I think. Again, this is just reading what other people said. I've not seen the show or read it. But it's pretty faithful. And the main character in the original comic, it was written like a while ago. The main guy was his wife like gets exploded by like the Flash equivalent or something like that.
Yeah.
And they wrote him to be Simon Pegg. They were like, oh, if this ever gets to be a movie, we want it to be Simon Pegg. And I heard that Simon Pegg's in the show.
Yeah, he's the kid. I'm trying to think of his name. I feel bad that I can't think of his name. He's not like the main character. There's no like main character in the show, which is kind of weird. But his dad.
Gotcha,
he's in like the first couple episodes, and that's it. Simon Pegg is only in like the first.
Well,
couple
I think
episodes.
it's a cool homage.
Yeah.
To the original. That's very neat, because it probably wouldn't have worked. Back in the day before Marvel and everything blew up, this kind of takedown of the superhero comic idea.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, because most people weren't really familiar with comics, I don't think, to the amount that people are now. So that kind of satirization of the whole genre probably would have fell flat for a lot of people if they weren't familiar with it at all. It's perfect because Marvel is kind of, like, it just works, it works.
Yeah, this show is, it's very refreshing. Refreshing take on the superhero genre, getting kind of tired lately of all the Marvel stuff. And
DC FanDome event.
DC FanDome, what's up? But yeah, just the idea of like superheroes, like, you see them, and you're like, oh wow, these superheroes are so cool. And then, they get, you see behind the scenes and they're just like, fuck these people. I fucking hate them.
Right.
I
And
kill everybody.
even the idea of superheroes as not people, but like brands, that's an interesting idea, that like Superman as a poster, not as a human being,
right,
as a sentient being, he's a face of something. He's not a real person, because that even allows you to just regular celebrities. It's another layer of possible satirization, as I said.
Yeah, it's really cool. Homelander, who is like the Superman equivalent, is just such an interesting character, and I think he's by far the best character in the show, and also the best performance. I don't know the actor's name, but he's very, very good. And Giancarlo Esposito is in this season, which I didn't know. He just kind of surprised me.
I didn't know that until right now.
Well, here we go. He's in the second season, and obviously, I mean, he just like commands every scene like normal.
Is it Juan Carlo? I heard someone say Juan Carlo.
I've been saying Giancarlo my whole life. So
yeah, I've been saying like Jean.
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
I'm gonna keep on saying Giancarlo until somebody other than you,
Mr. Esposito.
We could say that too.
I could say that too.
Or Gus Fring.
Nah, it's a little disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just, but yeah, this season so far, it's been pretty fun. Just lots of, this show is just so graphic and nasty, and just blood and lots of language and nasty business going on. And it's very funny. It's not like funny all the time, but there's some parts where I'm just like belly laughing.
Right.
I don't want to spoil, but there's one part in the 3rd episode that involves a boat and a whale.
Oh.
And it was just, I mean, I was like dying. I thought it was so funny. and it's just disgusting. I mean, people's heads are like exploding. People are getting like their faces ripped in half, and I mean, it's just nasty. And there's a new character,
New
this
superhero.
season. Yeah, Stormfront. I think that's her name, and she is like Homelander business nasty.
Oh,
She like got lightning fingers or whatever,
Yeah.
and she's like zapping people up, just like murdering civilians. And I'm just like, yeah, okay.
okay.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I liked it so far. I mean, I'll come back
Keep us updated.
every time we come back.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I did though, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was.
Right. It's TV can just kind of go and go and go because I watched a TV show. I rewatched it. I think I talked about it already.
Yes.
But Mr. Robot, I finished my rewatch. 4 seasons. Came and went. I watched it just as fast as I watched it the first time.
Right.
You know, it's just that kind of show for me. Still really good on the rewatch.
It better
Like
be.
obviously, still super good. It's pretty rewarding to see kind of the groundwork that gets laid for a lot of it, especially in the earlier seasons where you know nothing about what's actually happening. You know, it's pretty rewarding to see them kind of like lay the clues there and pick them up later.
Yeah.
I ran into a problem where all the flashback scenes, without going too much into spoilers, all the flashback scenes were very difficult to watch because I knew their full context. You know, so with that kind of new side to it, they had I viewed them differently. You know, I had new perspective on them, and so those I think especially were really helped by a second viewing. You know, I thought it was very rewarding to watch those scenes again. But overall, very good. The ending just as strong. Like the very last episode, super strong. Yeah. Like the last 10 minutes, even, you know, are super good. So I'm definitely gonna pick up that Blu-ray. You know, it finally came down in price a little bit, so that's good. I'm gonna save like $10. So that's great.
Boom.
$10. And I would have to recommend it to anybody. One of these days,
we'll talk about it.
We're gonna have to do a whole episode on the series.
For sure.
One of these days. I don't know when. I mean, it's gonna be a year around Christmas time, you know. So who knows?
Could be.
Could be. I watched 2 other movies. I did a double feature actually. I watched these movies back to back, but one of them was a rewatch.
Okay.
Let's start with the new movie that came out just a few days ago.
Very recently.
It's I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the Charlie Kaufman film, which we talked about on the show. I talked about that it was releasing soon, and I watched it, and it was pretty dang good. I liked it. It is. I don't want to get too into it. It's super new, you know. This movie, I will say, can be spoiled. It can be spoiled pretty big, but I don't think that. I don't know if I'd call it an actual spoiler because you can still watch the movie and enjoy it, even if you know the quote unquote spoiler. You know what I mean? This is based off of a book, and as far as I know, people who read the book are, you know, they're pretty much okay with, as always, you know, those book readers. Am I right?
I know, despicable.
Those supremacists. But I found it really rewarding. The film does a lot of things where it has the worst script supervisor in the world, because a trick that it uses to give this kind of like what would you call it, kind of dreamy feel.
Oh, okay.
Is that a lot of the costumes might get little changes to them. Like maybe she's wearing earrings in one scene, then when they cut back to her earrings are gone, or her hair changes, you know, or the paintings on the wall move, or they change, you know, very small things. And the one thing I would say is that I think the movie plays its hand way too quickly with that technique, because it was pretty evident pretty early on. And I would have liked a more gradual, you know, like, hey, isn't that off? And then being like, no, I must be crazy, blah, blah, blah.
And then she's just upside down in the next
Right,
scene.
or something like that. Because as soon as it happened, you know, I was picking out like a dozen things. And, you know, maybe I'm stupid and it was happening and it was so subtle that I didn't notice it. And it only became two in my face when I just started noticing it, you know, who knows. But I felt like it could have been more gradual kind of thing. But, you know, it's personal taste. That's personal taste.
You already know there's somebody who's wrote like a 1 out of 10 review, like, this movie sucks. The continuity is terrible.
Right, exactly. That's what I was hoping for, that somebody would just totally miss the point with that. But it's really effective at putting you in a state of kind of questioning yourself. It's like, oh, did this happened? Like, did they say that? Like, didn't somebody already say that sentence earlier in the movie? Like, stuff like that. My main gripe with this film is that the ending is not to its full potential, because there's parts of the film that kind of wrap back around at the end to kind of, it's kind of like that perspective change. You look at it a different perspective and it brings a new life to things.
Yeah.
I feel like the ending is kind of not as fulfilling because it doesn't really take full advantage of that effect, because the ending is really cut and dry. Once you figure it out, you're like, oh, you understand it all. Everything in the movie, at least for me, made sense. I was like, this entire movie now makes sense because I know this one vital piece of information. It's one of those experiences. And so I was a little disappointed that it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be, that it was almost too cut and dry. You know what I mean? I would have liked a little bit more mystery, but it's like by the end of the movie, there's no mystery. You got it. You understand. Still very fun ride. Rewatch, who knows how much I would enjoy it.
Right,
because I know everything, But we'll see. There is another thing with this that makes me kind of mad, but kind of glad. I've been writing a lot lately, my own little short films and stuff like that, and I've been writing something very similar to I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's kind of made me. It was a weird thing watching the movie because I was like, that's what I wrote in my thing. I was literally like, I saw something that I literally wrote in this movie.
They beat you to it.
It freaked me out a little bit. But it's different enough. But it was just kind of a general conceit of it. But the good thing that came from it is that this movie ends in a certain way. And I was struggling with the ending of what I was writing. And it put me in my place. I now know exactly
what
I'll
the
just
ending...
copy it. No. I want to anti-copy it. I want to do the opposite of this, what this movie did with its ending.
Oh. And,
I just thank this movie for allowing me to come to that decision. I'm very thankful for that.
Wow.
In my life. But yeah, I'd recommend it, definitely. It's
on my list.
It can be uncomfortable, and it can feel very long, but it's like on purpose. You know what I mean? Still. But I did a double feature. All right.
Double une.
And I'd already seen this movie because it is a David Lynch movie.
The Lynchmeister.
And it is Mulholland Drive. Or Mulholland DR, you might call it. Mulholland Doctor. And David Lynch film, a lot of people consider it his masterpiece.
What do you consider it?
I don't know. It's really, really good, I think. When I talked about how I'm Thinking of Ending Things is really cut and dry, Mulholland Drive is not.
Very, what's the opposite of cut? It's very, very build and wet.
Build. Oh, yeah, okay. Build and wet. Yes, it's very build and wet. They put that on the back of the box for their Criterion release, I think. Build and wet.
Build and wet is the name of the game.
But you can watch Mulholland Drive, the whole movie, and not understand it if you aren't paying attention. Like, you could walk away hating this movie and be like, this movie doesn't make any sense, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be kind of right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because it kind of works with, that the different perspectives kind of issue that goes on. I don't want to talk about it. One, because I don't have enough time to talk about this movie.
Right.
Because to explain one thing, I'd have to explain 50 other things for this film. And again, huge spoilers for, knowing the ending. If I tell you the ending, you can still watch it, but it's a different experience.
Right.
And talking about David Lynch films, I mean, he doesn't like talking about his movies because he just feels like he didn't make the movies to be talked about. He made the movies to be watched,
Yeah.
So I kind of respect that in a way. So I'll just say they're kind of similar movies. So if you've seen, Mulholland Drive, it's not the same, but go in with that kind of vibe going into the movie. And I think it'll set your expectations at the right place.
Yeah.
For I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was my little double feature that I did.
Nice.
It was fun. It was a good time. And then we did something
crazy.
As Toni Collette and I'm Thinking of Ending Things said, we lived a little dangerously. We did. She said that. And what did we do?
We were lucky enough to go see early access screening.
Because we walked up, what happened? We walked up to the theater, right? We had our hats on, and we had our badges, and we said, "Hey, look, we're from the Stagler."
Oh,
and
yeah.
the theater was like, "Oh my god, you're from the Stagler? Like,
Like,
we love your show." They
yeah.
rolled out the red carpet.
Mhm.
They didn't have a red carpet, but they cut the drapes in one of their theaters and rolled it on the ground.
Mhm.
Stepped all over it. Got straight into the theater. Only 2 seats. They were huge. They were like 40 feet long each.
Mhm.
Sat down, and we got a private screening of Tenet.
We did. The Christopher Nolan new sci-fi mindbender.
Yeah, and boy, is it! We got a lot of mind benders this week.
a lot of head scratchers.
Yeah.
Oh man, Tenet. Hey, yeah. Like most people in America probably haven't gotten to see this movie yet.
Or if you have, it was like today.
Yeah. But we got to see it.
Yeah.
And what do we think? What do we think? What do we think?
What do we think? Well, I will say that of the Christopher, not to be a Debbie Downer, of the Christopher Nolan movies I've seen, my least favorite.
It's in the bottom. It's in like the bottom 3.
Still good,
It is good.
but my least favorite. And
I agree.
it just has, it's very, again, it's a time concept that
He loves time.
he loves time.
Doesn't he?
He's got, Inception is all about some weird time stuff with the dreams and how it's fast or whatever. Interstellar has all that stuff going on. Memento and Dunkirk even with the it's
Dunkirk
different.
he loves it.
It's all like, does Batman have time?
That might be the only one.
Maybe. Yeah, you could probably get away with some kind of stretch with that, but we don't have the time.
There's a
Oh wait, no. Remember in the second movie, The Dark Knight.
depending on the time, you could
Joker
be in one place. or
Yeah.
several.
Depending on the time.
There we go.
There we
Boom.
go. So boom, done. The movie knows that it is totally high concept here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is a scientist lady, researcher woman, who knows her name.
She's like, don't think about it.
She literally says, "Try not to think about it."
Yeah. An actual line in the movie.
It's like, just don't think too hard about it. She's like, "I'll focus on the how, you focus on the what," or
Yep.
something like that, which is a pretty kind of how I feel about the movie. Like, I know what happened, I just don't know how or why.
Yeah.
So it's pretty accurate. It's maybe self-aware, you could say, in that way, because it's just for the spectacle of it all.
It's cool to look at. It's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm not attached to any of the characters. I don't
No.
even know their names.
Well, they don't even.
They don't even know their names.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for like 2 of them.
Right.
Christopher Nolan once again just proves his writing prowess with female characters.
Oh,
Just
exactly.
The emotional depth is just
know.
unbelievable.
Here's the thing. I went in with the expectation that, it wasn't going to be this character study drama. I understood that. But the idea of having a protagonist, the protagonist you might call him, as this guy who kind of has his life, like he gets given this new life, he gets his old life kind of taken away from him in a way, and then having this woman who the only thing she wants to do is reclaim her life, and he's fighting so hard to reclaim that life, like for her, almost like living vicariously. I saw a very intriguing, dramatic story there, and it amounts to she pretty girl. I want to help pretty girl.
I like the way she looks.
Like, that's what it turns into.
It's very surface level.
Because I just saw the potential for a very interesting story there, and it just doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, to me, the most engaging character was Robert Pattinson's. To me,
Right. And I feel like, honestly, it's probably mostly just him.
right? Exactly.
Not.
he is a very talented actor
Yeah.
and wears scarves very well.
He plays Christopher Nolan in this movie. He literally is Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
in this movie. It's so funny.
It is pretty funny when you think of it that way. That's pretty accurate.
He literally does.
What's interesting in this movie is how there's a lot of dialogue, and there were scenes where I understood each word, like the English word, if you ask me what that word means, I'd be like, yes, I know what every single one of these words mean. But when they were put into a sentence and put on the screen, nothing. It was completely incomprehensible.
Yeah.
I know the meaning of the words, but the sentences
Literally.
impart no information to me whatsoever. There was a whole scene, like a 5-minute scene of just back and forth. And then it cut to it was like Alaska or whatever. And I was like, I've learned nothing.
Any scene with John David Washington and like the lady, the lady I'm talking about.
Sorry, I was just doing the soundtrack while you were talking because Christopher Nolan does it for his movies. So
It's so loud.
it's so loud. It goes over. How many layers is it? You have certain scenes where somebody's behind a glass pane. They're wearing a mask. The music is blaring. And there's a backwards echo speaking while they're speaking. So you have like 5 layers of obfuscation of what people are actually saying to each other.
Yeah.
And he expects you to just kind of go for it.
Yeah. Listen, Christopher Nolan. Great director.
Oh, yeah.
He's an incredible director.
Technically, I mean, aside from the sound mixing.
A writer. Yeah, he's got troubles. Maybe someday he can figure it out.
Ask his brother for help.
Um,
My favorite line was probably, it was so original, where the bad Russian guy says, "If I can't have you, no one can." Like, I've never heard something like that before.
yeah, that was a good one. That was good.
It's maybe not as bad as
That was really good.
we're making it sound.
No, it is good. It is a good movie.
Yeah. It's just the spectacle of actually watching these like effects, these backwards time, reverse
Specifically,
entropy.
Like the hallway fight scene.
Right. Another hallway scene.
I know. Christopher Nolan, he loves time. He loves hallways.
Exactly. But no, that was probably the high point of the film for me was, learning the full context and seeing that scene happen was very rewarding. Yeah, that and the final.
The final
well.
like war,
Right.
basically. Like that was super cool. Well staged. Everything looks awesome. And I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, so everything's practical, so it looks freaking awesome.
Right,
Especially
right.
the plane scene is cool too.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, wow,
That's the one that
that's
got
actually
hyped up.
happening. Yeah, I know.
Was the plane scene.
But yeah, Tenet, it was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be better the second time. I can't say that I'll be seeing it again anytime soon.
Maybe I'll watch it in reverse and see if that does anything for me with subtitles. So then I'll understand what's happening.
Yes, I would love to watch this movie with subtitles, please. I literally got like half the dialogue, maybe.
It gets pretty bad. But there was something else that happened.
There was something
besides Tenet.
incredible.
What happened while we were sitting on our big old chairs?
This is amazing. We were sitting in our 40-foot chairs.
Yeah.
Room service all around.
Yeah.
Bringing us
Tossing
nachos,
because 6 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Nachos, hot dogs, whatever. And something comes on the screen, a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yeah,
It was-
okay, trailer.
It was what's in the box,
And then
I was
I-
like, oh, they're re-releasing 7.
But then I saw Timothy Chalamet's
Oh,
beautiful face. And I said, you know who that is? That is the Kwisatz Haderach
whoa,
himself.
whoa. Yeah, it is.
That's Paul Atreides.
Paul Atreides, the man, the
My
myth,
man.
the legend.
There was a teaser.
There was a teaser
For
for the
Dune.
trailer.
A teaser for the trailer for Dune.
It was like a minute and a half teaser for the trailer. So
I'm fine with it.
it felt like a trailer.
Show me all of it.
But we just got pretty much all the trailer was him putting his hand in the box.
What's in the box? Pain.
Yeah, exactly. And then like a close up of a lot of the characters.
Yeah, like a bunch of like
looking off into the sunset and all that. Here's the thing. I kind of hope we never get to see the sandworms in the trailer.
Oh, I don't think I'm thinking that we're not.
Or if we do, it'll be like a split second thing, I want to save that.
I want to see it like I want to see like
Under-
like on the sand. I can like see it moving under the sand. I want to see that, and then I just want they need to cut it off.
Right. Because that is such a moment. And we probably, what if we didn't even see him in the first movie?
No, you have to.
You do?
Yeah, because
Oh, when they first land on.
they first get there.
Yeah.
and then they go to they take them like on a trip. They're like, hey, look, this is the spice mining
yeah.
thing, and then
I remember
big
because
worm.
that's when David Lynch in the mining facility was like, "Okay, we're bringing it down now," and then it popped up.
Yeah,
And I was
that
like, oh.
but that might be the only time in the first movie. I don't know where he plans on ending the first one.
Right.
But the worms become much more apparent later.
Right.
Like, so the second movie will have a lot of them, but the first one might only have like a few.
I said this in the theater. I shouted it because we were so far away from each other.
Right.
But that I was so glad that we watched, or at least that I watched the original David Lynch Dune, because I saw these characters that I could recognize and knew what their point in the story was going to kind of be, and it just got me excited to see the new take on it. So I would honestly, if you don't have time to read the book, I would recommend watching the original.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I don't think I would have been excited if I was just like, okay, I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is. But having at least just this baseline information really pumped me up.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
got
excited.
me into
This
it.
is like one of my most anticipated movies ever.
It is. It
is. And the book is awesome. So definitely, if you're a reader.
How many pages?
It's like almost 800, I think. But I will say the words are big.
Oh, okay.
So it's real easy to go through the pages quickly. 800 sounds like a lot, which it is, but
So what's your pages per minute, pages per hour?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's all right.
I'll have to time myself one of these days.
You'll have to time yourself one of these days.
But yeah, Dune, September 9th. Trailer. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Here we go. Well, we went to theater and saw some things. So that means that theaters are happening. Kinda.
Kind of. They're kind of happening in some places. And that means we finally get to do a segment that we wanted to do ever since the freaking beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It's freaking box office time, yo.
Box office.
I helm the box office time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just going to talk about the box office. And this is incredible because I feel like this probably wouldn't have happened if we were in different circumstances, if Tenet came out at the correct time. Well, actually, you know what? No, this is all in... You know what? We're going to dedicate this box office to the New Mutants. Congratulations
For finally coming
to
out.
the New Mutants for coming out.
Yeah.
It finally released 2 years later.
Yeah.
The movie came out. It got delayed like a million times. And here it is sitting at the top of the domestic gross for the week, August 28th to September 3rd. Almost $9 million. I mean, it would probably be more
Yeah.
if there were different circumstances, but there's not. But hey, enjoy the time in the spotlight.
New Mutants.
New Mutants. We love you. And then the other movies, I don't even know. Unhinged, have you heard of that?
No.
That's number 2. I don't know what that is. Bill and
Unhinged.
Ted is number 3.
Right.
We know what that is. And then just like a bunch of weird movies. Like the SpongeBob movies on here. I don't even know.
Oh, neat.
Good for them.
Good for SpongeBob. He's in
yeah.
Transformers, right?
Is he?
The voice actor? Isn't he one of the tiny ones? I think he is.
What? I didn't know that.
The one that like attacks, that Megan Fox torches his eye.
Oh, really?
I think that's the voice actor for SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, I want to say.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I could be totally wrong. I never fact checked myself. It's kind of a rule of mine.
Interesting. But internationally, it should come to no surprise that Tenet is dominating the box office internationally, basically everywhere except for China.
Oh.
In which there is a movie in China, I guess, called The 800.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Abyssal Spider.
No.
Oh.
And it's made like $160 million just in the past week. So China, apparently the 800 is just some huge blockbuster. I don't know what we're missing.
We'll see.
But, you know, Tenet has made like, I think it's like 60 million
Tenet.
worldwide.
I hardly know it.
Yeah. Box office will get more interesting later, hopefully.
It will. It will.
But New Mutants,
Holding down the fort.
just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. This is great.
I'll see it eventually.
Someday.
When it comes to like HBO Max or something, probably.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool.
Well, that means it's time for the rest of the news. We're starting off with a sad piece today. This news came not long after our last show. Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. He was 43 years old, and he'd been battling colon cancer for 4 years.
I know.
He had been, which I had
Nobody
idea.
knew.
Nobody knew. He kept that so close to the chest. And, you saw pictures released of him at that time visiting, like, children's cancer hospitals, and spending time with them as a Black Panther and everything. And it's very inspiring to see him still working, still making movies. Defy Bloods came out.
I know.
So recently, and still working all that time. Super inspiring that he could do that.
Yeah. What just a strong and this courage. Just, all that he was going through, bringing us all these incredible performances. It is really inspiring to see somebody like that can leave such an impact on the world. And honestly, his career was just starting. He was really going to be something incredible. And it's very, very tragic. He will be missed.
Oh, deeply, deeply. He was, when you think of Black Panther, which is what I think most people think of him,
right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Being kind of a step forward in, you think of Marvel, such a big thing of just representation for young Black lives to look up to have a Black superhero like him to point out and be like, oh, hey, he looks like me, buy his toys at the store, stuff like that. It's so important that I don't think people realize how important that kind of stuff is. And I just hope that his legacy can go on and
absolutely
continue to inspire as life goes on.
It will, for sure.
Moving on. The Mandalorian Season 2 is coming to us, releasing October 30th, which is very, very soon.
It is very soon. I got my Baby Yoda hat on.
You do? Yeah, it's very adorable.
Baby Yoda is
You bought that so fast, by the way.
I bought this very quickly after The Mandalorian came out because, who doesn't want Baby Yoda sipping on his bone broth on their hat?
Me.
I love it.
Okay. I just, I'm not saying I don't like it. I would have went for like a beige instead of a blue.
I like the blue.
No, it's fine.
Okay. We're not here to judge my outfit.
Why didn't you just get the doll, like the life size?
I have one. Well, I don't have the life size, but I have a Baby
one.
Yoda thingy. It's right next to my baby Groot.
Right, yeah. It's very adorable.
But he's about to swoop in and save 2020 real quick. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, let's hope Mandalorian Season 2 can live up to the first one, which again I thought was pretty good. It didn't blow my socks off.
Yeah.
But it was the Star Wars stuff where I was like, I need a little dose of Star Wars. It helped. It worked for that, satiating that need. We're supposed to see characters return from other series, other Star Wars stuff,
Ahsoka,
Tano,
Ahsoka. Yeah, that'll be cool.
So that stuff is all very, very exciting. There was also the DC event that happened like during our show.
Last freaking.
So we only caught like the Wonder Woman trailer. But there was a lot of other stuff like Shazam sequel. It's going to be called Shazam:
Fury of the Gods.
There was a Black Adam teaser.
Cool.
With the Rock as Black Adam. It wasn't footage. It was just like a couple of JPEGs sliding around the screen.
Yeah.
Some effects going on, and The Rock was like, I'm Black Adam. I got the magic.
He's pretty good in Injustice.
The Rock?
No, Black Adam.
Right, of course. Who plays him in that? Just somebody?
I don't know. I play him.
Right.
He's a character
well,
that
I'm
you
glad.
can play.
There was also the Batman trailer.
Oh yeah, the Batman trailer was cool.
It does. It looks pretty neat. 10 years ago, he would have been a great. I forget his name, but the Batman Beyond Batman, Robert Pattinson, would have been great for that role. But now he's too old, so now he has to be regular Batman, which is a fine compromise, to me at least.
Right. I'm excited for that.
It started production between the last show and now, and then it stopped production because Robert Pattinson got COVID-19.
Patty, come on, bro.
But I think it was more than him. I think it was plenty of people. So he's quarantining. They're locking it down. I think they were only in production for a few days.
Dang. That blows.
It does blow. But it'll happen eventually. They'll get around to it. The trailer, it's got like Penguin
And the Riddler.
and the Riddler are like the two. I think the Riddler's the main antagonist.
Yeah, I think he'll be like over through like the whole trilogy.
Oh, really?
That's what I like kind of heard.
I was thinking that it was going to be like a Scarecrow situation where like the first movie of Nolan's, like Scarecrow was there, and so was Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, no, I think I heard that the Riddler is like not gonna be in the first one too much, but
Okay.
he's like, they're doing a trilogy, so I guess he'll be like kind of like overarching, like the overarching villain of like the whole trilogy.
Very interesting.
I don't know though.
I wonder if they're going to be able to control themselves and not mention the Joker or not do the Joker.
So far, so good, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there were those goons that had like the makeup on that he beat up really badly, the one dude.
Right.
He was like, "I'm vengeance."
They might talk about him, but I mean,
Because they had like clown looking makeup on, kind of.
you know, he probably won't be in any of the movies.
Oh, I hope not. Just because it's so soon.
I know. There's so many Jokers now.
Yeah, I mean, because right after the Joaquin Phoenix one, like if they said that it was the same, that was the little Bruce Wayne, they said it wasn't, but I would be content with that. I'd be like, okay, the Joker happened. If the Joker was the cause of the rise of like malcontent in Gotham, you know, the rise of crime, blah, 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 and that's the setup, great, perfect. If they want to say that, maybe I'll just pretend that's real.
Sure.
You know, and that's just what I'll tell myself. But they also have the HBO Max series, which is taking place a year before the movie happens.
Interesting.
And it's going to be Commissioner Gordon, probably not a commissioner yet, maybe it might just be Detective Gordon. And just kind of looking into Gotham as a city and like corrupt cops and kind of like that stuff, how deep it goes, how far into the roots is this evil in Gotham. Yeah. Gotham. Gotham's a pretty cool name for a city.
It is.
But that's cool. I'm excited, I guess. I mean, it's a lot of Batman, at once.
Yeah, I know.
But we also have the Suicide Squad.
James Gunn's.
Not Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. Very different. James Gunn is doing it. It's a reboot of a movie that happened in 2016.
So that movie did happen, didn't it?
And it won an Oscar. Wow. So the reboot, that's sad.
Thank you for reminding me about that.
They had a video which is basically him just showing every single character or every single like superhero. So why don't you want to just go through the list?
Sure.
We got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Reprising her role.
Exactly. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, reprising.
Who's Captain Boomerang?
He was in the first movie, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Remember, he was the guy who was like, "Oh, I'm Captain Boomerang."
But if you ask me to recall the first Suicide Squad,
Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. John Cena. Oh, sorry. Do you have something to say? She was in the first movie.
I don't have anything to say.
John Cena as Peacemaker.
Sure.
Pete Davidson as Blackguard. Michael Rooker as Savant. Sean Gunn as Weasel. Idris Elba as Bloodsport. Peter Capaldi as The Thinker. David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man. Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2. Flula Borg as Javelin. Nathan Fillion as TDK. Mei Ling Ing as Mongol. I'm very sorry. And Alice Braga as Solsoria.
So no Croc?
I don't know. They have the Shark Man now.
Oh.
He's a shark boy. It's like a street shark.
Well, where's Lava Girl?
She's in the thing where she gets one line that we talked about earlier in the last episode. And you were very upset. Very huge cast. I can only imagine that they're all going to get capped super early.
Yeah.
Because you can't develop this many characters.
Whatever.
It'll probably end up being Harley Quinn, maybe Amanda Waller. And yeah, it'll be the Harley Quinn and Amanda Waller movie. And I don't know, Bloodsport too.
Yeah. I was like, Idris Elba's pretty.
He's pretty in
up
there.
I don't know. Yeah. James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Try your best,
The
buddy.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad's something totally different. I don't even know how you could get them confused.
I'm sorry.
It'll be interesting.
I'll see it.
I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting. I feel like I should see Harley Quinn and her Birds of Prey before this because I didn't see that. What?
Do we have to?
I didn't say we. I said I. I don't
Whatever you
know.
want to do.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know that I'm gonna move on to the next story, which is that Netflix is making an original live-action Resident Evil TV series. Which
Yikes.
is that's interesting. We're doing this again, but different from the other thing because apparently they want to make a new reboot of the movies. So this is separate from that. So now this is a totally new thing that we hadn't heard of.
Okay.
But it's going to be serious. It's going to be original story, so it's not off a game.
Oh.
It's going to be across 2 timelines. The first will be between sisters Jade and Billy Wesker, and they're probably going to be somehow related to Albert Wesker, who's like the main antagonist, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they moved to the corporate town of New Raccoon City at age 14 before realizing the destination, and their father may be concealing dark secrets.
Maybe, which means he is.
Yeah. And then the second timeline is going to jump 16 years into the future, with the Earth devastated by Resident Evil's signature zombie-making T-virus, and focus on Jade and the less than 15 million human survivors trying to survive in a world overrun by 6 billion mutated monsters.
That's a lot.
First episode's called Welcome to New Raccoon City. So there we go. I'm pretty sure the showrunner is the dude. He was a writer and co-executive producer on Supernatural, which is popular, but
very popular.
And will serve as showrunner, executive producer, and writer for the 8-episode series. With Bronwyn Hughes, a director best known for her work on The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Set to direct the first 2 episodes of the series.
Cool.
So, who knows? Who knows if this is related to anything else Resident Evil, like canon-wise? If Alice is going to show up, maybe she will. Maybe she'll kick some butt with her psychic powers.
Bootay.
Who knows? I have to watch it.
Yeah.
I have to, because I actually like the Resident Evil movies. But I don't expect it to be good. I don't expect to like it. But I'll watch it.
Sure.
If it's really bad, I won't watch I won't force myself. But I will force myself to start it. Sometimes you got it. Sometimes you just got to start.
You got to force yourself.
Are you going to be checking it out? I mean, you haven't even played the...
Maybe. No.
Not even 4?
No.
4?
I played Resident Evil 7 first hour demo.
Right, I remember that. Resident Evil 4 is touted as like maybe the best video game ever made.
Well,
I'm just saying you should check it out. It's a lot of fun. The most fun is when you get a fish and then you're like, I can't fit this fish in my bag. I have too many grenades. And then you shuffle your grenades around and you're like, oh, wait, I can't fit this fish in my bag. That's my favorite part of the game.
Nice.
That and the reload animations are very nice.
Oh, okay.
They're very cool. Moving on. Remember Vince McMahon?
How could I forget?
Who doesn't? Vince McMahon, the walking grilled cheese sandwich himself, bans WWE wrestlers from using Twitch, Cameo, etc. Basically,
wow.
He sent a letter to WWE wrestlers a few days ago and banned them from, quote, engaging with outside third parties using your name and likeness, unquote. And he threatened to fine, suspend, or fire anyone who didn't stop using the third parties within 30 days. So they include sites like Twitch, Cameo, blah, 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 right? And he added that he thought it was necessary as they enter the next phase of growth at WWE. And he also reportedly held a conference call with talent where he claimed that WWE not only owns wrestlers' characters' names, but also their real names. So he's basically saying, you can't use your real name anywhere or else I will fire you. And of course, this is also going with him. I might be getting this story wrong. I heard it a while ago that his employees aren't technically employees. They're technically independent contractors, so that the taxes he has to pay aren't as severe. So basically, using loopholes to pay as little money as possible at all times.
Right.
Didn't help him for the XFL, I guess, but Vince can't win them all. And it's just such a every time I see Vince McMahon in a headline, I'm just like, what now? What is he doing now?
Jeez.
Because he definitely seems like a piece of work.
That's interesting.
You know? And I'm sure my opinion means a lot to him.
Oh, of course.
Actually, you know what? That's the thing. I bet it does. I bet my opinion does mean a lot to him. I bet if you heard this, it would drive him insane because he just seems like that kind of petty person. You know, like you'd think someone in this position, you'd hear someone like me talking about it and they'd be like, oh, whatever, you know, who does. But I feel like he'd actually be pissed off secretly. He'd be like, fuck that fucking dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just seems like the kind of guy he is. He seems like a real grizzly bear.
For sure. Faux show.
He seems like a grizzly bear too.
The grizzly bear too.
Because Grizzly 2, starring George Clooney, Laura Dern, and a killer bear.
The one from
Midsommar?
The Revenant.
Oh.
Came back to life. It got the...
is officially being released after almost 40 years. So this is a sequel to a movie from 1976.
Oh.
So it was made in like the 70s or 80s, you know, it was made a long time ago.
Yeah.
With a very young, very unknown Laura Dern and George Clooney. They were kind of no-name actors at the time.
Yeah.
And finally, in 2020, it's being re-edited and refixed. There's a trailer out. The trailer's really weird.
Yeah.
And it runs about 75 minutes total. And it's also got Charlie Sheen, I'm seeing. It'll be interesting to see if this...
Wait, they just re-edited the old movie?
Well, the old movie didn't get finished.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had this movie that never came out with these actors who are now super famous.
Now it's
coming out because it kind of just got caught in production limbo.
Yeah.
In a way. So
interesting.
2020, it's gonna come out, and then we'll all see if it was worth the wait.
I'm sure it is.
I'll need to make sure I catch up on Grizzly, the original, before I watch this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I need to know the lore of the bear.
Right. Duh.
What do you think? It's probably a mama bear. Because, you know, the mama bears, they gotta protect their cubs.
Right.
So I'm guessing somebody like kills their cub. They're at the music concert, and like somebody moshes their cub to death, and the mama bear's like, oh no, and freaks out,
kill everybody,
and kills everybody. I mean, when I watch these movies, I always want the animal or monster to win. Usually,
yeah,
you know, especially when it's actually an animal. I was like, I want that animal to kill all these people because usually they do something wrong, like go on its environment and stuff. So who knows? I'm rooting for you, Grizzly.
Go Grizz.
What kind of sound does a bear make?
Rawr.
I can tell you the sound it doesn't make. Bjork. I don't know. I was trying to do something.
What a terrible segue.
Bjork, who everyone knows, the Icelandic musician actress, will star alongside Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe, and Ethan Hawke in Robert Eggers' The Northman as first set photos arrive. So Robert Eggers' next film, The Northman, we're both big Robert Eggers fans, or at least, you know, I am.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Very excited to see this film. I know very little about it, other than it's like a Viking drama kind of thing going on, thriller.
Cool.
And I think it's Bjork's first time being in a movie since like 2005 or like 2000. I don't know. It's been a long time since she's been acting. I'm going to guess that she's not going to be doing much acting. She's probably going to be more of like a cameo part, but I could be wrong. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But the cast already, Willem Dafoe obviously likes working with Robert Eggers. They did. Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, and Ethan Hawke. I mean, this just sounds like a winning cast to me.
That is a W right there.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for anything that he's doing.
Yeah. Robert Eggers, keep it up.
Keep it up, my dude.
The Eggman.
I wouldn't want to be called that if I was him.
The Eggman.
But I guess whatever.
The Yolk.
The Yolk. Yeah, sure.
I like the Yolk.
El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, is getting a feature-packed Steelbook Blu-ray.
Guess who won't be buying it?
Me.
And me.
Both of us. If you're buying it, that's cool. That's good for you. If you need like the whole set to feel complete.
I got Breaking Bad. I'm fine.
Right. Then that's good. You know, you can do that.
Sure.
I just included this story because I think it's a nice kind of precedent for things to send of Netflix movies getting physical releases.
Yes, please.
I'm one of those weird people who still likes having things physically. But here's the thing for me. My physical films, they're, the creme de la creme for me.
Right.
I only the best of the best and like my guiltiest pleasures get added to my physical collection.
Yeah.
But I do like having those to hold. Oh, yeah, because I just ordered Kiki's delivery service.
Do you love me?
Because that's my, I love that movie. So I just ordered that.
Nice.
That'll be arriving soon.
Cool.
Very exciting. Breaking Bad, El Camino, we tease it all the time, and we're teasing it once again. We'll talk about it. I swear. We will.
We'll tell you about it.
But not today. Well, we can, to sum it up, here, Cliff Notes version, it's too safe. There you go. It's too safe. That's the summary of my feelings, basically. How about yours?
TBD.
TBD. How about GDT? Guillermo del Toro. Pinocchio casts Kate Blanchett, Tilda Swinton, Finn Wolfhard,
and don't love
as the Oscar-winning director signs overall Netflix deal. So he casted these people in Pinocchio that he's making, which is going to be like a darker take. What?
He has to prove himself to me.
Again, he does. You're right, because
I think he is not a good actor
anymore. I mean, I watched Stranger Things a long time ago, so I mean, I remember him being fine. I mean, he was very young, but the turning was rough.
The past few seasons of Stranger Things have been rough too, man.
They have.
The turning is when it gets
acting
really bad,
though.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, the turning was also bad writing, to be fair.
Well, so is Stranger Things. So, jeez. And I mean, he's not good in it.
Yeah, it was got a little rough sometimes.
I mean, he's fine. I like him as a person.
Yeah, I'm sure he's cool to hang out with.
But starring in Pinocchio next to Tilda Swinton and Kate Blanchett, I mean, he's going to have to figure it out. Or else he's going to get swamped.
Anyway, he also signed the overall Netflix deal, which basically means he'll be making movies with Netflix because they kind of are going to give him full reign, just kind of be like, do your thing, Guillermo.
They love to do that. They do love to do that.
We'll back you all the way, which is very exciting for a creator like him who has
Netflix
such a imagination and such a vision for him to really be given full creative control.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, and of course, Alexandre Desplat is going to be on the Pinocchio score.
Listen,
and original songs. It would also be. It's a musical. It will have music like songs.
Nice.
It's very cool. Listen, you said.
That's great. I love him. He's a great composer, but he's mildly overrated, especially when it comes to the Academy.
Yes, mildly overrated. Yes, still very talented. Again.
Yeah. Well, he's won. I don't know the exact numbers, but it feels like he's won like 3 out of the past 5 times.
Yeah.
And only deserved probably one of them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Shape of Water is one that he does not deserve.
Thank you. You had to clarify that. I didn't like that one very much, but it's all good. It's all good. No hard feelings.
Okay.
No hard feelings.
I guess.
Cooper Hoffman.
Koopa.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is the star of Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie.
Ooh.
This headline is like making me choke up that this is happening, because Paul Thomas Anderson and Philip Seymour Hoffman obviously had such a close relationship with all the films they worked together on, and his son kind of coming in and being the lead in the new PTA movie is very touching to me.
It is.
I don't know if this is going to be something we're going to be seeing him a lot more, with Paul Thomas Anderson or anything. I'm sure I'd like to, but it was a very touching thing to read today. And Bradley Cooper and Benny Safdie are also going to be in the film.
Nice.
And it's going to be his feature debut, Cooper Hoffman, that is. So this is
nice.
This is
dang.
He's
coming big shoes to fill.
It is. I don't think he should be intimidated, though. I fully trust Paul Thomas Anderson to be able to direct, more than adequately,
right?
To bring us a real winner here. It's exciting movie. It's a mysterious project still, but it's set in the 1970s, and that's basically all we know. It's gonna be multiple storylines in the San Fernando Valley, so kind of similar to like Boogie Nights in a way. Interesting. Can't wait. PTA, keep it up.
Love you.
Love you, bro. Love you. We live in a twilight world.
I don't remember the rest of it.
This is Tenet, by the way. We live in a twilight world, and there's no friends at dusk. Maybe.
Stupid. It's stupid. That's what it is.
Hey, we live in a twilight world, okay? We live in a Texas chainsaw world, I would say. Because as we know, it is already the 5th day of Halloween. It is Halloween the 5th of the 61 days of Halloween that there are in a year.
Okay.
And the Texas Chainsaw sequel has to shoot from scratch after the directors exit 1 week into filming.
Jeez.
So this is from Legendaries, and it's a direct sequel to the 1974 The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, kind of like they did for Halloween in 2018. And I remember seeing that they said that the Tohills were the directors' names, Andy and Ryan Tohill. It was kind of like exactly what the fans wanted. It was super violent, exciting, and extremely depraved, you know?
Yeah.
And that was what everyone was saying what this version was going to be. And then they got kicked out, and they're starting from scratch.
Nice.
And that's always a good sign, I think.
Right, yeah.
When the directors get cut and you have to start from scratch. But I do know that it's going to star Elsie Fisher from 8th grade. It's supposed to star,
nice.
which is very, very cool. Love to see her in new stuff. And is shooting in Bulgaria. Interesting.
Bulgaria.
What I thought was interesting is that director Michael Bay attempted to restart the Texas Chainsaw franchise as the producer of the 2003 reboot of the same name and his 2006 prequel, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning.
Is there anything he can't do?
Make good Transformers movies. Fun fact. It's something he can't do.
Wow.
But
Rude.
I thought that was nice. I saw that. I didn't know that little piece of trivia. And here we are at Transformersville.
The Bay Man. The Baymeister.
We're moving on from news. And now we're going into the
Spotlight.
Did you watch Bumblebee? I have to get this out of the way.
No, I didn't.
So the 5 is what we're going to talk about. And then the 6 is the one I'm going to talk about alone by myself.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I had to watch The Boys.
You had to watch The Boys.
I had to. Michael Bay is a director.
He is a... Yeah.
He likes explosions.
Yes.
And he likes sexualizing women.
Minors as well.
And he likes nonsense.
Bud Light.
He loves Bud Light.
Yeah.
I think he's a big 7-Up guy too.
Really? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get the positives out of the way first, because it's a short list.
About just Michael Bay, or
well, specifically with these movies, him directing action, right? Most of the action in these movies is pretty decent.
Pretty all right,
you know. Yeah. Sometimes it's even great, I would say. I think that everything gets worse as the movies go on. Every aspect gets worse and worse from 1 to 5.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a hot take and then incoming.
Oh, interesting.
Later.
Okay, cool.
We'll get to it later.
We will get to it, I guess.
You just want to hop into the first
movie?
movie?
Sure, let's just hop in the first movie.
Transformers.
2007.
Shia LaBeouf.
I saw this in the theaters. It's the only one I saw.
Megan Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? There's some other famous people in the first one.
Hey,
it doesn't matter.
John Turturro. He's in like the first.
What happened? What happens in the first movie?
The first one was Mojo had a cast and he had to feed him his pain pills.
Right.
The dog. He has a little chihuahua named Mojo.
He gets. His dad is gonna get him his car, but it's Bumblebee. It turns out the car is Bumblebee.
Well, yeah, the car murders all the other cars, so he has to get Bumblebee for $4,000 from Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And then, yeah.
But the whole thing was that the Autobots needed Archibald Witwicky, Sam's great grandfather, I think, his glasses. They needed his glasses because it was like a map to like the Energon source or something like that.
Right.
I think. And so they got the glasses and they do the thing, and then they have the cube, the Allspark.
The Allspark.
And they got to do it. And they're afraid that they're going to basically terraform Earth, the Decepticons. That's what they want to do or something. They want to like turn it into a new, right?
Turn it to a new Cybertron.
Yeah, am I going crazy? But that is the plot.
I think
right?
that's it.
Okay.
Shia LaBeouf is a person in these movies. Okay. I think Shia LaBeouf is the only way these movies are like watchable.
Yeah,
because the last two are unwatchable.
They're very, very rough.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But Shia LaBeouf kind of saves all three of these movies, in my opinion. Just because I think he's funny.
Yeah, he does. He plays kind of almost a super serious character, but he's just super serious about like weird things sometimes, like getting girls at one point, or like getting home, like he's just super focused on his task and he needs to get it done. You know what I mean? So it's very entertaining to watch a character with such convictions, I suppose.
It's funny when he screams.
I
think Shia LaBeouf screaming is really funny.
He's got a good scream. I think Transformers, the first one, is actually pretty good.
It's all right.
Just for a nice movie where you just turn it on and you're like, oh, look, robots, and then you turn it off.
Robots punching each other.
I think it's pretty good. The thing that I like about this movie is that the Transformers aren't a bunch of weirdos for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Because later, as you go into the series, the Transformers just get weirder and weirder and vulgar and gross as it goes on. But in this one, they're all kind of normal. They say that they learned the English language through the internet. So, some of them have some mannerisms, whatever. That's how they found Sam, was through eBay. Right?
What a great joke.
Right. So I get that they have these mannerisms, but they're still mostly, they have a mission. They're like, okay, blah, blah. They're not cartoon characters. Haha. Right?
Ah.
And I think that's good. I enjoy that when they're not freaky. Bumblebee's like the goofiest of them all, and he can't talk. He got his throat cut.
I'm so excited.
Right. I like when the Transformers aren't weird. It's too much because they're so big.
So you're weird. A big Optimus Prime fan.
Yes, I love Optimus Prime, except I don't at all. And I'll explain that why later, I guess.
So you're a big Megatron fan.
I'm a big sexualizing 16-year-olds fan. Not.
Okay. Sheesh.
Says Michael Bay. Because I found it so weird. Because Megan Fox is supposed to be, obviously they're all played by like 30-year-olds, but they're supposed to be like, she's supposed to be 16. They're supposed to be juniors in high school by the time this movie comes around. They're the youngest protagonists of anything, because even in Bumblebee, she's older than they are.
Right.
But like, they go to like a party after school, and then she pops up the hood, and she's in this like low cut, and it's going like really, really low. And I was like, this is a child right now.
It's very troubling.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was pretty weird of him to do, but whatever. Like I don't know. Felt very Japanese.
Sure.
The other thing I thought worked well in this film was the separate storylines all coming together eventually. That felt pretty natural, the way they all met up by the end. You had like obviously Sam and Megan Fox. What was her name?
Michaela?
Okay. And then the army dude, and then the like hacker girl, right? Was that the first movie? Or was that this?
Yeah. Because they're in the room with the donuts, and he's like, see, they put the donuts out here, it's a test. Mm-hmm. And if you don't eat the donuts, you're guilty. But if you do eat the donuts, you're not guilty. I ate all the donuts.
Right, and then he gives her up right away. I thought those storylines all coming together by the end, I thought that was actually done pretty well. I thought it worked decently well. The one thing that I thought was interesting was that I thought the animation was kind of struggling at some points. The CGI,
Oh.
it kind of did because I was paying attention to it, and it got really bad at some points actually when you started paying attention.
Oh, really?
There was a scene where Optimus Prime was standing and he was just like rotating in a circle like back and forth because of like the tracking that was going on, and it was like really noticeable. And I was like, oh, that's
dude.
not good.
Yikes.
It was not great.
Yeah, I'll be honest. On my rewatch of this one,
Oh, that's sad because this is my favorite one.
fell asleep like halfway through, and I woke up when they were dropping Megatron in the ocean.
This is easily my favorite one. Also because the cars actually do car stuff in this movie. Like they actually drive around and like race and like maneuver. And like in later movies, all the cars do is drive forward. And whenever they need to turn or anything, they just turn into robots and turn a corner and then turn back into cars. But in this one, they're actually drifting. They're actually going around corners. They're actually chasing each other.
Yeah.
Which just disappears from the rest of the series basically after this one.
A lot of things disappeared.
Which is very strange. And who knows? I think it was all downhill from here. And he likes the Strokes, which is
wrong.
cool.
I disagree.
Okay, well, I'm interested to hear what your favorite is.
Okay.
I cannot imagine.
2 years later,
Mm-hmm.
Transformers, big success. We get the epic Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie blows.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, does it?
This movie blows.
It's really bad. It's so gross.
It is real nasty.
This is a really gross movie.
Yeah.
Not in only the way it treats its characters, but also just like the stuff that's on screen. Like I said, the Transformers just become vulgar. How many times has a Transformer called someone a bitch in this movie? Like 30 times.
Bro, I don't know.
Like the one character at the end of every sentence, it basically says bitch. It's like turns into freaking
Jesse Pinkman.
You know, I don't know, man. Was not feeling it with this one. It had literally the opening of the movie. One of the first things you see is the two dogs humping each other.
Yeah.
So I think it was just like foreshadowing for the rest of the film.
Stop dominating. Whatever.
Frankie. Yeah, Mojo. So I really think it was just like a really good foreshadowing from. So he's a great foreshadower, Michael Bay, because that told me it's like that's what the rest of this movie is going to be, and it was basically. Rainn Wilson, also known as Dwight on The Office.
Bro, when he goes to college.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's a professor at the college, and he's just real gross. Just a real gross professor. Like
he
hitting on
eats
students.
the apple and he like throws it on the ground, and the chick picks it up and she's like,
He goes, finish that for me.
it's like, what in the world?
It's very strange. And his that weird Transformer woman,
The chick
who has the robot tail come out of her bum.
Yeah, she gets real intimate with Shia, and then big old tail comes
out
of her butt,
and then out of her mouth, and then around his neck, and blah blah blah.
And then Megan Fox
walks in, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hate you. Here's the thing that gets me about that.
Okay.
Megan Fox walks in, she sees this woman on top of him, and she freaks out.
Obviously.
Understandable. Like 2 minutes later, they're being chased by this woman who was turned into this machine, and is trying to kill them. And so she goes, oh, that woman was a Decepticon. And then she's still super pissed off. Like, that's where I'm like, okay, it's what doesn't have to happen? That's why they broke up, I bet, for the third movie, because he couldn't get over this incident.
There
it's
we
like,
go.
It was literally a Decepticon. And she's like, I don't care. You cheated on me.
Yeah, I mean,
No, but honestly, that really pissed me off. It made me mad. I was like, Megan Fox, shut up. It was a Decepticon.
Sheesh.
What was the plot of this one?
The Allspark.
Right, it was the shard. Because he touched the shard and he got the visions that...
and he's like...
Yeah.
I just read your book and Einstein is wrong.
Einstein is wrong. This is why.
It's like, listen.
And then the person was like, I don't like being punked in class.
I think he's really funny in that scene.
He's really funny in that scene. It's very well. It's very similar to a scene in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Really.
How about that? And then Megatron comes back. They go to the ocean and they bring Megatron
The Fallen.
back.
This one's about the Fallen.
Right. And then they kill Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
He dies. He like literally dies.
For the first time.
And then like the rest is they're like, we need the Allspark so we can bring Optimus back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to wherever foreign country. I don't remember where they go.
Egypt.
Yeah, because they're at the
Pyramids.
And then they have big fight. They bring Optimus back. Big fight with a big robot that has a ball sack.
Oh, yeah. That's very gross. Again, that just gross humor. Not to mention the mom just scarfing down pot brownies and then tackling people.
I know. Oh, she's so annoying. Two little baby booties.
Yeah, exactly. She's whatever. She deserved to get got.
Yeah.
Devastator should have devastated her.
Yeah. That scene's kind of cool though when it's sucking everything.
No, yeah, the Devastator little part at the end there is very interesting visually, seeing all these different obviously there's no real space with them. It's just once they turn out of their machines, they can be as big as smaller as they want. There's no real thought put into it. But it is seeing it do a Power Rangers kind of gang up, you know, transforming all together. It's a neat scene.
Yeah, and what happens at the end? They win.
Yeah, well, Sam almost dies. Remember?
Right.
And then they revive him, and then
what's the end?
What is the end? No, you know what I remember? I remember after this first movie, all the endings were like super abrupt. Like it would be kind of like the end of the climax.
Oh yeah, and
then
then it ends.
Optimus would start monologuing, and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's just gonna cut to black," and then it would just cut to black. Well, cut to directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember.
I don't remember how this movie ends.
The Shard, nothing happens. The Shard reforms in the. Remember, I think it's all the Primes are like, "Get up, Sam Witwicky. This has always been your destiny. The knowledge of the thing isn't discovered; it is earned, and you have showed the virtues of a true leader. So here, take the thing and revive Optimus." So he went over to Optimus and he went, "Ah!" and stabbed Optimus in the chest, and then Optimus got up, and that's the last thing I remember.
What happens to Megatron in this one?
Is this the one where they're all fighting the Fallen, and his little buddy's like, "Bruh, like being a coward is lame at all, but you also get to live." And Megatron's like, "Okay," and he just leaves.
That sounds right.
Yeah. He's like, "It's cowardly, but you get to live to fight another day." And Megatron's like, "You know what? You're right. That's pretty smart, little gross boy." And he leaves.
Yeah. Man, Revenge of the Fallen, not good.
Not great.
But
I actually did really like Megatron's role in the next movie, Dark of the Moon. It's just Dark of the Moon.
Transformers Dark of the Moon.
Yeah.
The best installment of the Transformers franchise.
If it wasn't this one, you know, then we'd have a problem.
It's not like...
Right. Exactly.
I like this one. Kind of.
No, I get it. Can we take a quick detour and just let me say something really quick?
Yeah.
I don't think even one of these movies needed to be 2.5 hours long.
No. Oh my...
Because they're all 2.5 hours long.
All of them.
No.
You could shave like a whole hour off of all of them.
Probably. You probably couldn't. You wouldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah. There's so much nonsense.
There's a lot of nonsense going on in these films. Transformers Dark of the Moon. Megan Fox is gone because she called Michael Bay Hitler.
Right. So we got a new girl, blonde girl now.
From Mad Max, even though this was before Mad Max, so you know what I mean.
And turns out that
Sam met Obama.
We didn't want to go to the moon just because we wanted to go to the moon because we knew that there was friggin' Transformer there.
We forgot to mention something, by the way.
What?
In the second movie, it's revealed that the Transformers had already been to Earth.
Oh, yes.
They were into Earth at like 7,000 BC or something like that. And I guess we'll go more into that later.
Right, yeah, because the dudes with like the arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of rewriting history in these movies.
Just a little bit of that.
Yeah, so like in the Battle of Cybertron, the Prime tried to get away, and then he crashes onto the moon, and that's why we wanted to go to the moon.
Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime.
Yeah. Another thing I hated with this movie was the very obvious foreshadowing, where like the very first scene of the movie, the little robot sits on the couch, and Star Trek is playing on the background, and it's the one where, and he goes, "Oh, I know this one. This is where the one where Spock goes crazy." I was like, okay, thank you for spoiling the rest of the film for me. Saying, like, it's one thing having it on in the background, but saying it out loud to the camera, it's like, come on.
Yeah, do be like that.
I mean, I know it's a kid's movie, but still.
Yeah. So then you see Sam and his lady.
His lucky bunny.
Yeah, and he's like, it's just the feet. It's just the feet. It's not the whole bunny. It's just the feet. And then he's like, I'm going to do a bunch of job interviews.
Did you see that Obama that he met that was very obviously not Obama?
It's like really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah. He gets a medal from Obama.
And that's where he meets his new girlfriend.
Yeah. Because he got a medal from Obama.
Yeah. But he can't get a job. Which, you know what, is actually a kind of interesting idea for a story, to have somebody who's this hero, but then having to reintegrate into like normal life and being upset with that, being like, I literally saved the entire planet Earth twice, and now I have to get a job.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
And he has to be like a mail clerk.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing that doesn't really get explored because he just has to save the world again. But it'd be interesting to actually see a movie go through with that. If there is one that does that, I would like to know. If there's one where it's like, oh yeah, this guy saved the world and now he's a grocery store person.
What's his face is in this movie. I can't think of his name.
There's a lot of faces. And I don't remember.
Witwicky. I know who you are, Witwicky.
Oh, well,
I need to. They're in the bathroom stall together.
Yeah. I don't remember
and
his
he's
name
like
either.
Balls or whatever.
He's
and
like Deep Wang.
And then he gets pushed out of the window or whatever.
Yeah, the window.
He's funny.
Is it? Oh, I don't remember. But he was in the Hangover movie,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And he's funny.
He is very funny in that scenes that he gets.
Trying to think. Isn't John Malkovich in this movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, not amounting to much. Anybody who's in this movie doesn't really amount to much.
Frances McDormand is in this movie too.
McDormand is in this movie, which is,
she goes toe to toe with Optimus Prime.
Very cool to see. She does, and she puts up a fight. She's like Amanda Waller, you know.
Yeah,
she ain't take no guff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sadness in this movie. Our dear Ironhide gets it in this one.
True. Is it? Yeah.
He does. He gets capped like multiple times. They blast him open, and then
we're moving pretty fast. I wanted to ask a question.
What's up?
What do Sam's parents do? They have a really nice house. They have a really nice yard.
Yeah.
They've got an RV.
Don't step
and like
on the
an
grass.
extra car.
That's what the path is for.
They've never been to college. They don't have any degrees. I'm just wondering what they do for a living.
Huh.
Doesn't seem like the mom works, no offense. But what does the dad do?
I don't know.
I think that should be
We will have to
investigated.
Yeah. We'll you know what? We'll rewatch all of them again, and we'll super analyze.
Well, they don't appear in 4, 5, or Bumblebee. So
well, you never know. There could be like some sort of like hidden message.
You're right, because someone does appear in 5, and we'll get to that later. Yeah. Francis Warren put up. There's something that happens in this film with the Hangover actor. I think it's Ken something. I want to say
who?
The Asian.
Oh yeah.
He's drinking Shuhua milk in the elevator. Remember he's sucking it down. And then Shuhua milk appears again in either 4 or 5, or maybe both. I can't quite remember. But I just thought that was interesting. That this, I assume, Chinese product.
Paying attention to details, Mr. Bay is.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I think it might be like product placement. But
the details.
I just wanted to point it out because I'd never heard of Shuhua milk.
Shuhua milk.
Because I assume it's just a Chinese product that you can buy in China. Because China loves these movies.
Yeah, they make hella cash.
They do. He makes them. I'm convinced he makes them for China, and America is secondary. at this
Probably.
point. But I don't know.
Megatron back again.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing this one? Oh yeah, he wants to get the thingies.
Yeah, the tower. He wants to set up a tower, and he
The
wants
pillars.
the pillars, and he wants to enslave him and Sentinel.
Right. They're summoning Cybertron
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
And they want to enslave the human race and make them theirs.
Right. Yeah, that's why Ironhide dies, because he's like, I made a deal with Megatron 1,000 years ago. I'm sorry. And then he just.
Poor Ironhide.
I know, he was cool. He was cool. Rest in peace, Ironhide. This movie has my favorite Transformer of all of them.
Okay.
And I can't even remember the name of it. But like, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's the big worm.
Okay, I don't
The big
remember
worm.
the name.
I think it starts with an L.
Lola.
No.
Lenny.
But it leads to
Lockjaw. That's the T-Rex, isn't it?
Lockjaw.
Yeah, isn't that the T-Rex?
Well, there's Lockdown. Who's cool?
Lockdown
He's
is
in the
cool.
fourth one.
Yeah.
Worm Transformer name.
Driller.
No, that's not right. I know that's not right.
Okay.
That's not Shockwave.
Shockwave. That's not an L at all.
That's Shockwave.
Schlockwave. Am I right?
Yes, Shockwave. He's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's cool, and he also leads to my favorite action scene in any of the movies, when they're in the tower, and he's like looping around the tower.
Yeah.
And it's the tower's like falling over, and they're like, sliding down. They're trying to catch on to things. I think that's a cool action scene.
I have to admit, I did watch 2 and 3 together, back to back. Might have affected my opinion of 3, because I had already sat through 2.5 hours of 2.
2 is tough. I agree.
So it might have affected my opinion on 3.
3 is the best one.
Not gonna rewatch it, but
3 Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon fans unite.
Do you know which one's the highest rated? By
The first
critics?
one.
By critics.
The first one.
Bumblebee.
Oh, I'm not counting Bumblebee.
Okay, well the first one, then you're right.
Yeah.
The first one's actually the highest rated by users, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But Bumblebee is highest by critics.
Wow.
I thought that was interesting. That's why I wanted to watch it, because I was like, okay, let's see what's happening. And I guess we'll get to it.
We will get to it.
This movie cuts to black like every 10 minutes. Like there's scenes like, remember when the pterodactyl thing goes to that little girl and turns into that pink robot? And it's like, oh, are your parents home?
Oh yeah,
And then it cuts to black. And then the mom's like, and then it turns to pterodactyl and flies at the mom. Then it cuts to black. And then it's the dad on the couch. And he's like, what are you doing here? And then it cuts to black.
Yeah.
And it just does that over and over. The city, when the first like lockdown kind of happens, it cuts to black like 5 times. Like it goes like psh, then zooms, then black, then zooms, then black.
Nice.
Very strange choice.
Yeah, geez. Man. The city gets like decimated.
Yeah, and then they played like, I don't know who it was, but it was just some pop song that kind of sounded sad, I guess. It was just like, oh, the world on defeat, and they're looking on of like the city's on fire, and apparently,
Oh no, you're talking about Iridescent
okay.
by Linkin Park.
Right. I forgot that they were still doing music at that point.
Yeah, Linkin Park, the first 3 movies.
Yeah, it was all
That's a good
3.
song. Don't
It
be
is a
hating.
good song, but it's a song basically playing that over Holocaust footage,
Right.
and it's like, is this appropriate? Because apparently, judging by movie 4, we won't get there quite yet. Apparently, millions
Millions of people.
died.
Which, I mean, the whole city is like
Millions.
completely leveled.
There's 3 million people who live in Chicago. I don't know if that was how much it was in 2011, but I assume it would be, at least 2 if it was, and it was probably 3 million in 2011 as well.
Right.
So that's saying that like about 70% of Chicago died.
I mean,
70%.
it gets pretty messed up. It gets pretty messed up.
It does.
They just show up and start like blowing entire buildings up.
I like, this is totally off topic. I like Megatron's little cloak. It's kind of stupid, but
Oh
I
yeah,
it.
no, I agree.
I think it's a
nice.
nice look. I wish you would have kept it, but what can you do?
Um,
Sentinel Prime himself,
he's all right.
he doesn't not make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, why would he do this? But it is just like, oh.
Only a Prime can defeat me.
Right, yeah. Well, there you go. There was a line where he was talking to Optimus. He was like, who do you think you are? What would you be without me? And Prime just goes, let's find out. And they fight. I was like, okay.
Optimus Prime. He's got all the one-liners, especially in the 5th one. We'll get to that.
Yeah. There was a part in this film, though, that I really need to point out where a very important thing is that Optimus needs to get his jetpack tech. You know, he needs to go get it so he can use it to fly. And it's this huge thing that goes on his back. It just looks like a huge jetpack with, like, little wings.
Right.
And that's like one like big old scene of the movie is him getting that tech and flying off with it. Another thing I wanted to point out was that Optimus gets his axe in this movie because he's supposed to have an axe. I don't know anything about the cartoons. I guess maybe we should have spoke about that. I really know basically nothing about the cartoons.
Same. Zero knowledge.
But I know that he has an axe
He does.
axes are cool. Swords are dumb.
Uh-huh.
And you know, swords, they became like the go-to weapon just because they look cool. But like really, most of human history, when we were at that level, most people were just using spears. Because why would you use a sword when you have to get really close when you can get a spear and be socially distant from someone while you're stabbing them?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's like spears were really the main thing. And spears are cool too, but somebody decided swords were cooler and the rest is history. But he gets his axe.
He does get his axe.
It was a good moment. So you know what? Maybe this movie is great.
Well, there's a whole storyline where the Autobots get banished from Earth. Mm-hmm. But they don't actually get banished from Earth.
They just talk about it.
Well, they go up in the rocket, and then the rocket gets blown up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, all the Autobots,
right.
they're all dead. It's kind of like in Star Wars. And then like 2 scenes later,
like, oh,
Optimus is like, hello, I am back.
I'm fine.
You really thought we would let the humans...
After I've already died once.
And then Chicago gets completely destroyed.
Millions of people dead, literally.
Megatron and Optimus kind of team up for a second, which is cool.
Yeah. It's like enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of deal, which is always a neat
take down
dynamic.
the Sentinel Prime.
Leonard Nimoy, great job, I think, honestly. I mean, it's not like he was doing too much, but it fit the character very well,
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of wizened. You know, if you would tell me that was Optimus Prime's teacher, I'd believe you, and I did. I did believe it.
Believed it.
So
Believe it.
cool. Date Bayo. Blazooble.
Dark of the Moon, best one. Not
Have-
good, but the best one.
I want Optimus Prime to say Blazooble.
Blazooble. Let's get it.
In the next
Transformers
movie.
6.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Michael Bay, I know you're listening.
All right. Jeez. Now we're getting to Transformers 4 and 5, which is we really get into the bad stuff in these ones.
2014. Transformers Age of Extinction.
Yup.
So now we learn that, oh no, the Transformers were the ones who killed the dinosaurs. They were here a very long time ago.
They killed the dinosaurs, bro. It wasn't an asteroid.
Sam Witwicky is gone. He is no longer in the movies. Actually, can we talk about Shia LaBeouf for a second?
Yeah.
Since he's gone.
He's gone.
I think he was very lucky to be in this series for a very specific reason.
Okay.
This is a very different role than, say, Harry Potter. Because Harry Potter, even though Sam is the main character of the Transformers movies, everyone thinks of Optimus Prime. Or Bumblebee, maybe, because of these movies.
Right.
Nobody thinks Sam Witwicky when they think Transformers, you know? So he doesn't really... When you see Shia LaBeouf, I assume most people don't think, oh, that's Sam Witwicky. They say, oh, that's Shia LaBeouf. Where Daniel Radcliffe, people are still like, oh, Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was able to be in this franchise and escape that labeling because Sam Witwicky, I guess, is just not that great.
Yeah, you know. That's interesting, though.
I thought it was good for him. I felt happy for him for that.
Yeah. Good for Shia.
Good for Shia LaBeouf.
He's done some cool things lately.
Good for Otis. Honey Boy, it's a good movie.
Honey Boy, Peanut Butter, Falcone.
No.
Falcone.
Falcone.
And I think he's in like this new movie or something.
Interesting.
I don't know. Probably.
Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction. Mark Wahlberg is here, ladies and gents.
Cade Yeager.
Cade Yeager. Not as cool as Sam Witwicky in the name, so that's already minus a point.
And his daughter is Tessa Yeager.
Yeah.
And she's 17, and she can date a 25-year-old if she wants because Romeo and Juliet laws protect them.
Damn right.
And he carries them around in his pocket just to show people that, hey, it's not pedophilia, it's the law.
Bro, what?
Title? Podcast title? Right there.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
So, Cade Yeager, he's a fixer-upper kind of man.
Inventor, like the
Inventor,
dad
man.
from Gremlins.
He decides to just buy a truck one day.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the truck is Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got it for steel, if that's, that being the case.
For real. What's it called? Transformers are like outlawed.
Yeah, they're being hunted down. Ratchet dies. They hunt him down and kill him in the beginning of this film, which sucks because Ratchet's cool.
Yeah, it's
and
unfortunate.
It begins the problem of there's only, 4 Transformers anymore for the rest of the series.
Right.
Which is really, I hate it.
There's Optimus,
Bumblebee,
Hound,
and Strider? What's his name?
No,
the samurai dude.
Whatever. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Samurai Man.
Samurai dude.
And Crosshairs.
Crosshairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the villain, Lockdown.
Mm.
Lockdown's cool.
Lockdown's actually very cool.
He's cool.
He's the best part of this movie easily.
Yeah.
Which is sad because he's
like the only good part in this movie.
I wish he would have been in like the first one or the third one, like be in a better movie.
Yeah, he's cool.
Nah.
I like Lockdown. Yeah, he should have shown up some other time.
It's very sad. This movie, oftentimes between scenes, they would have obviously like your wide shots where you'd show everybody where you're at, and all those shots always felt like I was watching like a Tylenol commercial. Like they'd be driving down the road and just the score that was going on. I was just like, am I watching? Like I honestly sometimes thought that we were going to zoom out and it would be someone watching a TV in the movie because it was so like medicine commercially.
Yeah, literally, bro.
If you take Transformium, you may experience the following, and then it would list all the things. It's very weird. The score honestly was just awful.
It's
in
not
4
good.
and 5.
Yeah.
Really bad. Like, they should be ashamed. I couldn't stand it. That's just me.
Man, there really is just nothing. There's no... Lockdown is the only redeeming quality. Everything else is just straight garbage.
I know. Because, like, the score is so bad that if Stanley Tucci asks me, do you like music? The pill.
The pill.
He's got this stuff transforming him that can turn into anything. And in the middle of the movie, he's demonstrating that. And he just turns it into the pill, which is the Beats speaker. And he just holds it right in the middle of the screen. He's like, look, it's the pill. And then he turns it into a gun.
Oh, my goodness. And then there's like a dinosaur robot.
What's his name? Dies right at the beginning. The funny guy. He was the Weasel in Deadpool. What's his? TJ Miller. He gets killed the same way the dinosaurs do. His body turns into a skeleton. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, rest in peace.
TJ Miller. Didn't care for his character, so not a big loss.
Nope, he was just stupid comedic relief,
literally
which was not
called
comedic.
The kill squad on himself, so how do you feel bad about that?
Yeah. So,
What was this is the one where they go to China, right? This is the one where they go to China and they like fight on the rooftops and they climb down.
Yeah.
That scene was actually kind of engaging, I'll be real. Maybe because it was the environment that I wasn't familiar with, seeing them fight on top of these rooftops of these huge like favelas or whatever. That was a little bit interesting. It only lasted like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Of this 2.5 hour
AC
long
falls.
Film. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Does Lockdown die in this one? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
How does he die?
I don't know.
Wait.
eventually the metal just looks like metal, and all that metals is metal.
So Optimus Prime probably beats him.
Probably. Well, actually, movies 4 and 5 are kind of like the let's beat the shit out of Optimus Prime for 5 hours.
Oh,
saga.
literally, bro.
Optimus Prime gets so beat up in both these movies. It makes him look like really pathetic and weak.
Yeah.
Like,
makes Lockdown look cool though.
He like in 4, he gets a moment where he comes in, he's riding the T-Rex, and then he chops someone's head off or whatever, you know. But other than that one scene, just always getting beat up by like anybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was not great to watch that because I was like, come on, Optimus Prime, you're better than that. Eek. I don't know what. This is the one where they had the magnet at the end where they were sucking everything up except not.
Oh yeah. yeah. Bro, like what is going on?
So there's there's this giant magnet, and you know, obviously Transformers are made of metal. Yep. So but they're only getting sucked up if they're like not fast enough, which like I don't know. Like the pterodactyl can fly above the others and not get magnetized, even though he's closer to the magnet, and then the truck gets. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
But it happens.
It happens.
It definitely happens. This movie is nonsense.
Tessa gets to go to college. That's good.
Good for her, because she's not in the last night.
She's not.
Thank the Lord, because she's annoying.
Yeah, she's not great. How many shots in 4 were just a close-up of Tessa crying?
Dude, that's a good drinking game.
That would be.
Watch Age of Extinction and take a drink every time there's a close-up of her crying.
Yeah, you'll get a...
Like 40.
You'll probably get drunk off of that. Now, if you want to die, if you want to drink yourself to death, watch Transformers 5 The Last Night and take a shot every time the aspect ratio just changes.
Yeah, dude.
The film bars just explode and then minimize right before your eyes.
It's
if you want to die.
It's pretty amazing. The Last Night, by far, just the worst. Like literally, like top 5 worst movies ever.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Now, you said something earlier. I want to get to this now.
Okay.
I said that I thought basically everything got worse as time goes on. Were you just talking about 3 being your favorite when I said that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Other than that, it does get worse.
Yeah. I wasn't saying like 1 was the best, then 2 was the second best, then 3. That's not what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
I just meant like each individual element. Like I feel like the action got sloppier and sloppier as it went on, and it got more hard to discern and less like unique each time.
Yeah.
But what happens.
Whatever.
The Last Night.
Yikes. So guess what? Stanley Tucci from the last movie, he was actually alive way in the past with King Arthur.
Okay.
He was actually Merlin, the wizard.
It was just the actor, but yes.
And the Transformers were there too. And they were part of the Round Table.
Yeah, the Arthur.
And
Arthurian legend.
And Merlin had the... What did he have?
The staff.
The staff of Merlin. And it was...
Well, he didn't call it that. He just called it his staff.
Right. My staff.
Staff wouldn't... You wouldn't be like, this is my staff of Merlin.
My staff. Yeah, and then they try to find that. I don't remember why they try to find it, but they need it to like beat Quintessa.
They try to find it because Anthony Hopkins...
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
Anthony Hopkins, this is an interesting bit. He's part of a secret society called the Witwickens, right?
Right.
And you find out that Transformers, they actually go into this a little bit earlier, but they don't really touch on it. In 2 or 3, they were like, oh, Transformers actually have always been here. But that's all they say. And in 5, you really find out that Bumblebee himself killed Hitler. And that was a very interesting scene, seeing Bumblebee in front of a Nazi building with the flags, just shooting Nazis to death with a gun.
Yeah.
I thought that was just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, lots of rewriting history.
Like how do you even fight that in World War II?
You don't. You die.
Right. Bumblebee, good job, I guess.
Great job.
He could speak back then, so, you know, he could... I don't know. Anthony Hopkins is part of the Witwickens. He's like, oh, yeah, I've always been here. Do you remember what Anthony Hopkins says
No.
He says these are all pictures of all the other Witwickens, right? And it shows pictures of a bunch of people, and it shows a picture of who?
Stanley Tucci.
No, Sam Witwicky. It shows a picture of Shia LaBeouf. And then they're having their tea, and Cogman, who's like his little human-sized transformer who doesn't transform into anything ever, I don't think, is there, and the British lady is there, who's Merlin's descendant. That's why she has to use the staff.
Okay.
And then Anthony Hopkins says something interesting. He says, I am the last surviving Witwicken. Now, with that information, that means that sometime between movie 3 and movie 5, Sam Witwicky died.
We need that movie.
And quite possibly his mom and dad also died between these two movies.
Oh, wow.
And they just don't tell you how or why or what happens. But he's dead because unless Anthony Hopkins was lying, which I don't know why he would, Sam Witwicky perished somehow.
Jeez.
And he's the
I guess
last
it
one.
makes sense because Bumblebee would be with him then. And he's not with him.
Right. But what happened?
I don't know.
Just to do it off screen, your main character for 3 movies?
Maybe Bumblebee accidentally crushed him or something.
That could happen. Maybe he transformed the wrong way and he got stuck inside of his body. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah, they just kill Sam Witwicky off screen and that's totally fine.
Yeah. So at the end of the last movie, Optimus Prime goes into space.
Oh, yeah. And he does it without his jetpack, by the way, that he needed to fly. This time he doesn't.
He goes into space.
This time he doesn't need the jetpack, even though he really needed it last time.
Without his jetpack.
This time he just does it.
So he goes to space. And then in this movie, he's like frozen in space.
Yeah. Was not really looking forward
Yeah,
when he flew into space.
Not a good job by him. And then he gets like captured by Quintessa, who's like the queen
Kerrigan
of the Transformers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, you are evil now. And she turns Optimus Prime evil. And then he's like, I'm evil. And then like an hour and a half of the movie happens. And then Optimus Prime comes back.
And he's
like,
evil.
And he's like, I'm evil.
Yeah.
And they're all there. Everybody's there. And Optimus Prime comes down. He's like, I'm evil. I need to kill.
Yeah. And Bumblebee's like, oh.
And then him and Bumblebee fight for like 7 seconds, give or take.
That seems generous.
Then Bumblebee gets the advantage, and he says he talks.
Mm-hmm.
Bumblebee
No, he gets
speaks.
the disadvantage, doesn't he? He's about to get
Right.
gutted.
Yes. Yeah. Right. He's on the disadvantage, and he talks finally for like the first time ever in the movies, and he says, "Optimus, it's me, Bumblebee, your oldest friend."
I'm tearing up. Babu Freak.
And then Optimus Prime's eyes go from like purple or whatever
to
back
blue.
to blue, and he's like, Bumblebee, I'm sorry.
I will never betray you again.
And it makes no sense. My man Optimus was evil for like 5 seconds max.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was evil for a long time, but when he was doing an action as an evil person, it lasted 5 seconds.
Right.
Like, he was sitting around just being evil for the majority of the film, but the only time he interacted with another character were those 5 seconds.
Right. And apparently, just if Bumblebee talks, it's just fixes everything.
Yeah. I noticed we haven't mentioned Nerf or Nothing. Which is a little girl who is like the opening of the film. It's like her living in this like kind of dead zone where a bunch of Transformers are hiding.
Oh, right, yeah.
She does nothing.
What is her name?
Isabel.
Right.
With a Z. Because I remember it was weird that it had a Z. I was like, oh,
she
cool.
hangs out with Cade.
Yeah, and does she do anything other than hang? She does something.
She has her little robot friend.
Yeah,
and
Squeaks.
he goes and blows up the turret thing.
True. So she doesn't do anything, but
she made him.
Okay,
So,
fair. So she does a little bit of something.
I guess.
Also, we didn't mention the baby T-Rex and the baby pterodactyl.
Oh, very cute.
Transformers.
Little baby Transformers. How do they grow? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they age or they don't.
How? They can't. They're metal.
Transformium.
Right. But they're not made out of that.
But they get some. That's how you have to grow. It's like a Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to feed them some rare candy, and then they'll grow up and evolve. The Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Grimlock. That's his name. Grimlock.
Grimlock.
Not Lockjaw.
Megatron comes back again.
He does.
He comes back
Megatron's
again.
so good in this movie.
And he looks cool. He's like
he does look cool.
He's like real glossed up now.
But he's utilized so well in this film. Like, it's amazing how much they can get out of his character.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up. And he's like, I need a crew. And he kind of assembles like a Suicide Squad.
Oh, it actually does do Suicide Squad, doesn't it?
And it like does the freeze frame. He's like, I need Death Gripper. And they're like, no, we can't do Death Gripper. And then he's like, I need whatever. And they're like, yeah, okay. So he gets a team. Baby. And does the team even show up ever?
Together? I don't think so.
Oh, man.
No, they do the one time because they get ambushed. Remember, they're chasing. It's like one scene where they're chasing them, and the little girl runs out, and she's like, "Hey, chase me! I'm a nerf for nothing!" Ah! And they're like, "Get her!" And they're like, "What is she doing?" And then they ambush them.
Jeez.
And then they're like, "Retreat!"
Okay.
And I think one of them dies in that scene, so it's literally only that scene that they're all together.
Nice. Good for
5 seconds.
Megatron's team.
6 seconds.
And then this is the best part of the movie. This is my favorite part. Quintessa's doing her thing. Cybertron is like flying into Earth. It's like right there.
I mean, it's a neat idea.
There's some sort of like weird magnetic field thing happening, so everybody's floating. And Optimus Prime. Okay, wait, before that, Optimus Prime. This part is so stupid. Optimus Prime's chilling, and Megatron shows up, and it's like the first time they meet, like in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And Megatron's like, let's fight. And then they like do like 2 punches, and then Megatron's like on top of Optimus. And then Megatron he says, Optimus, we were brothers once.
Yeah.
And then Megatron's like, once. And he just like kicks him, and he like flies out through the ship, and just like,
and he's gone.
And he's
out
just
of the
gone.
movie.
He's just out of the movie now. But then the true worst part is they're fighting Quintessa, and Bumblebee and Optimus are like fighting her, and Optimus like comes up to Quintessa, and he's like, "This is my friend."
Oh yeah. Right.
And then Bumblebee like shoots her in the face, and she dies. And then Bumblebee's like, "Sting like a bee."
Oh, that is so bad.
And it's so
honestly
terrible.
I was so tired from watching the film that it didn't even register as how funny it actually is. I was just like, oh, sting like a bee. Right. Okay.
Sting like a bee. It's so, and that's like the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah, it is. It's
That
really
is the
bad.
worst. And then it like I think it
Ends.
literally just ends after that. They're just like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, we saved the world again.
Cut to
And
black, directed by
Tessa's
Michael Bay.
still in college.
Yeah, whatever. Another thing that I like is when Anthony Hopkins gets blown up
Oh,
at the Stonehenge.
yeah.
He just like gets blown up, and he just goes flying.
Absolutely catapulted.
It's hilarious.
It's pretty bad.
Wow, The Last Night I've seen this movie twice.
I will never do that to myself ever.
2 is hopefully all that I. Is all
Was it better
that
in
I
the
get.
theater?
No, it's
Well,
might be
that's good to know.
worse.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
Because
It
well,
was
they
bad.
can't laugh as much, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, man. Maybe Transformers 6 will revitalize the franchise.
I hope so. We'll get to that. We'll get to Transformers 6 in a second. But first, we got to get to Transformers 6, the prequel, Bumblebee.
Yeah, let me know. What's up with Bumblebee?
Where even though Bumblebee was on Earth during World War II, Optimus said he had to go to Earth for the first time in like 1986 in this movie. So whatever you want to make of that. This is the only film that's not directed by Michael Bay. This is directed by Travis Knight.
Great job, Travis.
Who did Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo, yeah.
It is a good movie. This movie is a good kids movie. It is a kids movie with emphasis on that. You know, it's what you'd expect. It's like Incredibles 2 You know, what
The Incredibles 2 sucks though. Like really, really bad, stinky.
but it's like a kid's movie, right?
Okay.
It kind of panders a little bit. This has a lot of the movies do this, and I think this is part of the reason why they're so long.
Okay.
It's kind of like a formula. Basically, the first hour of each film is the main character completely separated from the Autobots. They're just kind of living their life, and then the Autobots are doing Autobots things occasionally, and that's like the first hour. And at the first hour mark, like almost on the dot, that's when they meet, you know, or that's when they reveal themselves, you know. And it's the same for Bumblebee.
Yeah.
We have, I forget her name, don't ask, Haley Steinfeld as the main character.
Great actress.
Super good in this. Like, actually.
Oh, really?
Like, really good, too good.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
I know. She's too good for this movie. Because she plays Charlie, I think is her name.
Charlie.
And she's on the cusp of 18, right? Because that's
how Michael Bay likes it.
He's like, this movie can't be made unless she's on the cusp.
Yeah.
And she loves cars. You know, she's like, oh, I love cars, blah, blah, blah. Her dad's dead, and she's upset about it.
That's a classic.
It is classic. Her mom's a fucking bitch.
Oh.
I hate her mom so much. Like,
Wow.
she's nice, but, like, her mom's so, like, willfully ignorant of how much of a bitch she is.
Okay.
You know, she's like, I obviously love you and just trying to protect you. Why do you hate me?
Right.
So, I don't know. They never explain it, but, like, somebody, I assume, or she taught herself to drive at some point. She's 17, but they refuse to let her get a car. They're like, no, you can't get a car.
Right.
But she knows how to drive, however that happened. Maybe she did it herself. Who knows? I don't know when or how, but it's possible.
Yes.
And basically, it's her 18th birthday, I think. And so they get her a gift, and she's like, it's like, oh, I got you a helmet for your bicycle because you have to wear a helmet now. And if I ever see you not wearing this helmet, you are grounded. And she's like, thank you. And then her stepdad's like, here's a book on how to smile more. She's like, thank you. She goes to her room. She's real upset. But she, like, takes it good. She's like, okay, I will take these items. Goodbye. You know, mature young woman there.
Yeah.
She's really upset. She goes to the junkyard. She finds this old beetle, this yellow beetle. Right?
Oh, who could that be?
It's the Hitler killer himself, Bumblebee. And she goes to the it might be her uncle who owns the junkyard. She's like, hey, it's my birthday. If I can start that car, I'll work here for a year and it'll be mine in trade. And he's like, no way, it's your birthday, so just have it for free. And then she's like, oh, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Right. And she fixes him up and she's driving him around. And then she takes him to her garage, and that's when he, you know, first comes undone. She's like, ah! She's like, whoa. And then Bumblebee's like terrified. He's really scared of her. She's like, oh wait, look, I'm not gonna hurt you, blah blah blah, whatever.
Like she could.
Right. Well, she has a wrench, so he's like, wrench.
Oh, jeez.
Right. So basically, most of this movie is actually the hijinks. Because basically, you have these two hunters who are trying to find Bumblebee because all the Autobots have split up, and they're trying to find Bumblebee.
Right.
So they find out he's on Earth, and they're just trying to hunt him down. But really, they don't meet up until like maybe the hour 45 mark.
Whoa.
You know, where Bumblebee and the two hunters actually face each other for the first time.
Yeah.
They're fine, I guess. There's kind of a really gnarly moment where a Transformer literally gets split in half, head to, you know, from mouth to, you know, Janice.
Yeah. I know.
And like it happens and the guy screams. He's like, as he does it. I was like, this is a child's movie, sir. You can calm down,
sir.
But I don't know. It's a lot of like, you know, Bumblebee. He's trying to fit through the doggy door and he knocks the wall down, like, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a really stupid love interest, which might be not as stupid as I think. It seems kind of like it's directly making fun of the relationship in the first movie because, you know, he's trying to make these advances and she's just like, okay, dude, no. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Because she honestly, if you think about it, Megan Fox's character was like, oh, into cars, you know, and all that stuff, you know, kind of not this like,
I gotta get my dad out of prison.
Right, exactly. Her man-child of a father. So it kind of was like, what if Megan Fox was the main character of the Transformers movie? You know, that's kind of how I viewed this film.
Interesting.
And she's the one who names him Bumblebee, apparently.
Wow.
And he learns to talk on the radio with her. We see that. And at the end of the movie, he transforms into a Camaro.
Nice.
And she's like, really? You could have been a Camaro this entire time? And you've only changed into a Camaro right now? She's like, what the hell is your problem? And then he drives off, you know, and they say goodbyes. And that's how it ends. Because she's like, you have people that need you. I have people that need me. We have to go our separate ways. It doesn't, I mean, they can still visit, but who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe that's
in the sixth movie.
In the sixth movie.
Let's go.
Hey, Haley Steinfeld. Sure, yeah. Because what I wanted to say was there is a scene where, you know, tensions kind of bubble up.
They kind of bumble
up. Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like confronting the mom. It's like, oh, maybe you've gotten past dad's death because she has the new stepdad, but like I haven't. And it's like really emotionally charged on Haley Steinfeld's part, where you like believe it because she's a great actress, and then when you know turn around on the other actors, it's like, oh, okay, there's no
right. Jeez.
You know, but you know she was really good. It's a very lot of fun just watching people hijinks. It's hijinks movie, you know. Oh, she teaches Bumblebee how to like transform quicker to hide, whenever. So she's like, okay, so if somebody's coming, you gotta hide. She's like, oh, somebody's coming, hide quick. So she hides behind a rock, and Bumblebee also hides behind the rock, but he's like huge.
Right.
So she's like, what the hell are you doing?
You're stupid.
Idiot. And she beats him.
Abuse.
No, but John Cena's also in this film.
Oh.
He's the army dude, like the army dude from the other one, but he's like the antagonist. They end up having a alliance with the two hunters where they team up. They're like, we think that there's a awful criminal on your planet named B2107 or something.
Right.
So they all work together to hunt down Bumblebee and kill him, but Bumblebee wins, so all's well.
Duh.
Yeah, those movies couldn't happen if he didn't win.
Yay.
But again, completely destroying the plot of just like, okay, was Bumblebee here or was he not? What?
I don't know. Michael Bay, I'm sure in the sixth movie, everything will come together. It's going to tie together beautifully.
There's going to be 3 timelines.
It's going to be awesome.
There's going to be young Bumblebee, middle-aged Bumblebee, and old Bumblebee.
That'd be sick. Michael Bay, just go nuts with the sixth one, bro. I don't care. Make it 4 hours.
Well, here's my question. Here's my final query. Transformers 6. Pitch it. What happens? Give it to me.
Okay. Mark Wahlberg. Cade Yeager.
Yeah, of course.
He just saved the world.
Gotta finish the trilogy.
He's feeling good.
Yeah.
He's chilling. He's got Optimus, Bumblebee, the whole gang. They're all chilling. They get a distress signal from outer reaches of space.
Okay.
They're like, what is this? We must investigate. But he's like, nah, why don't we just worry about it later?
Yeah.
And they're like, Optimus is like, no, I'll go by myself. Optimus leaves. He goes to go check it out. When Optimus leaves, Megatron strikes.
Yeah.
He comes in. He's like, haha, you idiots. That was me. I've trapped Optimus in space in my space jail.
Okay, interesting.
And he kills like somebody, choose somebody. Megatron, raise the stakes.
Yeah.
And then Megatron is like talking to like, and he's like, yes, master, yes. Who's giving him the orders? Who is it?
Right.
Revealed later in the film, none other than Sam Witwicky.
Yo,
the
that
mastermind
would never happen.
behind Megatron.
That would never happen.
It would. It could.
Okay.
Sam Witwicky and Megatron team up. Sam Witwicky is like the overlord of the Decepticons now. And then they have a battle. They have to go to space. We haven't really been to space.
Not really. No.
So we're going to space now.
Okay.
We're having an epic battle on Megatron's big ship where Optimus is. They got to break him out. They break Optimus out. They have this big epic battle. And then Sam Witwicky comes out. And him and Mark Wahlberg have a human battle.
Oh.
Which never happens.
Yeah, not
while
rare.
Optimus and Megatron have a Transformer battle. And then Bumblebee dies somehow. Megatron's going to kill Bumblebee somehow.
Oh my gosh.
And that's going to and then Sam's going to be like,
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna turn on Megatron
Gotcha.
and like zap him like Darth Sidious.
Okay. You're losing the plot.
And then, well, they'll get him somehow.
Okay.
Sam doesn't have powers or anything.
Gotcha.
And then they win. Megatron now dead. Maybe he could come back maybe in a future movie, but he's dead for now. They saved the day. Sam Witwicky is now responsible for the deaths of, countless people.
Yeah.
But all is forgiven. He gets a medal from Trump.
Oh, there you go.
Trump comes
Perfect.
in and he's like, "Here's your medal," and he's like, "This is way better than the one I got from Obama."
Thank you.
And then him and Mark Wahlberg, they get up next to next to Donnie, and they just like take a pic, and then like some really super happy.
And it's actually Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Some super happy song starts playing, and then it just like freeze frames, and you see a bunch of happy pictures of Mark Wahlberg, Shia LaBeouf, and Donald Trump just like having fun with like Optimus.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends. Optimus does some sort of monologue and moves over.
Interesting. I have a pitch.
Okay.
It's like 5 years past. Everything's been quiet, right? Optimus comes down. He's like, Cade Yeager, there is trouble. We need your help, right? Cade Yeager's like, I'm on it. I'm there. Totally, right?
Yeah.
And he goes to help Optimus, and he's like, we've received a distress call, blah, blah, blah. And it's a ship comes down from space. And out from the ship opens up. Out walks Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, exact replicas of all the Transformers. And they're like, what is this? And at first, they think they're friends. They're trying to figure it out. But they're actually evil Transformers that were made. Yeah. So you have to fight. And basically it comes down to like, oh, which one do I shoot? You know what I mean? It's like they don't know which one's the evil one, even though the evil one will have red eyes. They'll be like, I don't know which one's the evil one still because it's a Transformers movie. And they'll have to fight their own selves. They'll have to fight, Bumblebee will have to fight Optimus and stuff, so you get the team fights that you never got to see before. You did see Bumblebee and Optimus in the last one.
Right.
But it's building on that idea. End of the movie, they got some kind of artifact, right? Like Allspark and like Merlin's staff or whatever. And we got to go to space. We got to stop this or whatever.
Right.
And Cade Yeager goes up there and Megatron is there too, right?
Yeah.
Optimus gets badly injured. He's like, Cade Yeager, I can't fight. And he's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? He's like, you have to fight for me. And he opens up a hatch in his body. And Cade Yeager jumps in. He's like, let's do this. And he real steel fights Megatron, pulling on Optimus Prime's cords and everything. Fights Megatron, beats him. And then you find the artifact and Optimus is like, I know what we must do. And he melts the two artifacts together.
Yeah.
And you find out that event was actually the Big Bang. And Transformers actually created the universe. And the cycle restarts back to, and you see Sam Witwicky wake up, and he's late for school.
Wow. Let us know whose pitch you liked better.
Yeah, for sure.
Who does
Michael Bay. We're talking Michael Bay, by the way.
Let us know. Hit us up at the Stagler. Let us know how you're feeling.
Not just at the Stagler. Where specifically can he hit us up?
On the Twitters.
What is the email address to which he can hit us up?
Emails. You hit us in the emails at thestaglerpod@gmail.com. Let us know if any of our pitches interest you. Honestly, I kind of like both of them.
Yeah, they're both. I think maybe combining them into one.
We could really do that, or we could do 6 and 7.
Or that. Yeah, true.
So, Michael Bay, hit us up.
Michael Bay, hit us up,
bro.
And now we got our special little segment, the reviews of the week.
Review of the week.
Now, I'm just going to say it outright. My review is for The Last Night.
Okay.
Just because, it is.
Right.
I'll read it out. 1 out of 10. Who would have thought? The worst movie I've seen in the last 50 years plus. After less than 1 hour, I and my companion walked out of this film. The movie is a total mess and something to do with metal machines, Transformers, taking over the world or being prevented from doing so.
Yeah.
It looks like a third-rate cartoon and seems to be aimed at 2-year-old children with learning problems. Goodness knows what the story is about, as it is totally all over the place and gives the impression it is being made up as it goes along, with some odd and unfunny special effects added in. Shame on you, Mark W, with like 30 exclamation points.
Mark W.
1 out of 10. Well, you know, famous Mark W. That's what everyone
Right.
calls him. Like Arnold S.
Yeah. Okay. Mine is also for the last night,
Right.
but this is a 10 out of 10.
I knew it.
More than meets the eye.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, it's not bad. I'm not a cinema purist to search weak points here and there if I'm not paid to do it. I know the nature of hate that surrounds The Last Night. Number 1, fans of Transformers hate it for the disrespect of the lore. Good argument. Number 2, so-called smart viewers hate it for a much deeper reason. The main theme of this movie is struggle between conservative science and magic freedom, or conservative magic and free science. 2017, tables have turned. Tables have turned. Modern science is a new inquisition that kills any non-traditional scientific point of view,
Okay.
just like it was in Middle Ages, but vice versa. You can read this upside-down symbolism in almost every significant scene. Michael Bay does his favorite editing here with no shame. He likes it like that. I don't, but it's not so important.
Okay.
The truth is,
The editing?
so-called smart viewers are like members of religious sect. They can't read between the lines, and they see less than meets the eye. I don't believe in ranks and stars, so I gave it a 10. You see, if I was able to watch 2.5 hours of a movie from start to finish, I can't give it a 1 star. I watched it. I got the meta idea. I laughed at a few jokes, felt excitement in some scenes. 1 star? No way. Sorry for my English.
Okay. This English was actually fine. I always see that. I never see sorry for my English on badly written things. It's always on the perfect grammar, you know, perfectly well written.
Yeah. It was interesting. I have some bonus ones
Okay, sure.
from Tenet.
Oh, Tenet, yes.
Letterboxd. If anyone listening doesn't know what Letterboxd is, it's like a social media app for movies. And this is where you get like the really funny reviews, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, because people on there, like, they're like film bros. And they all just have very interesting takes sometimes. These both are for Tenet. 1 star. Half the dialogue is exposition. The soundtrack goes. You will forget the entire thing on the drive home. A film by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
This guy, Aaron, gave it a 5. 2.5 stars out of 5. Hello, my name is Christopher Nolan. Welcome to my masterclass. Today, I will be discussing how I add emotional depth to my characters. First, I add woman. Then, I add child. And we're done. Thank you for watching.
Oh, that is spot on. That is so spot on.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah. Those are the reviews.
The movie's worth it just for those reviews, I think. If you ask me.
Yeah, for real.
We got some emails. We had an email last episode that we didn't get to. We're going to get to it right now. I hope you noticed.
Right now.
Well, let's read it first. Hey guys, been listening to the podcast for a little while now and have enjoyed your thoughts. Have either of you guys checked out Umbrella
Thank you,
Academy?
by the way.
Yes, thank you. Checked out Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I thought it was a good show, and I've just started the 2nd season. Definitely has a dark vibe to it with a good mystery. Although I have not read any of the comics, so I don't know if it's a faithful adaptation or not. My main question is, favorite book to movie adaptation? He said, P.S. You guys should throw in timestamps for the shows. I hope you noticed last episode. I did.
We do? We did. We started.
Yes. They're not super specific. I might make them more or less specific depending on how much is going on in that particular show.
Yeah.
But I did throw in general ones, just like intro, weeks, news, spotlight, and emails, end in that one.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, I hope that helped you in whatever way. Favorite book to movie.
Well, hold on. Yeah.
Umbrella Academy. True.
No, but I have always been interested in it.
Yeah, it seems something that would be like right up your alley, especially talking about how much you enjoy The Boys.
Yeah.
It seems like this would definitely be something you do side by
I
side.
will probably check it out in the future. I cannot give a time frame on when I'll check it out, but I probably will.
I heard that the show does something where it uses a lot of songs, or maybe not a lot, but it has used songs in, not a score, but like a actual like pop song or whatever, right? And I heard that they choose the song before they shoot anything. They don't add a song that works later and edit it to the footage. They shoot to the song, so they'll play the song that they already have decided on as they shoot it, which is a little kind of backwards way of it's usually done. I thought that was very interesting.
It is cool.
Favorite book to movie adaptation? Now, there are quite a few.
There's like a bajillion. Almost
half?
Like so many.
Yeah.
But, geez. Okay.
That's
Give a few.
Well, we have The Godfather.
Come on.
So it's that's a pretty good movie.
Godfather's a big one.
I would say. I heard a story about Mario Puzo, if that's how you say it, where this was his first time. He adapted the screenplay himself from the book that he wrote, and it was his first time writing a screenplay. And obviously he had help,
Right.
But after he did it, he's like, hey, I'm really enjoying this. I want to learn how to write a screenplay, right? So he bought a book that just came out. It's called How to Write a Screenplay 101. Chapter 1 said, study The Godfather. So he said, study The Godfather screenplay. The guy who wrote the screenplay, that's the advice he was given.
Jeez.
I just thought that was interesting. Godfather, very good.
I'm very big into Harry Potter.
Yes, you are. You are very big into that ever since you were young.
I love Harry Potter. I've read the books and seen the movies. The movies might not be the most faithful adaptations, but I still think the movies alone, I think they're very good. I think the last movie is really good. I think it's a really, really good movie. So, yeah, Harry Potter, what's it called? Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's kind of an obvious one that probably most everyone would say.
See, the problem is most things I don't actually know how faithful they are because I'll be real. I usually don't read them, At least the ones that get made in movies, I read, but right. I don't know if they've made The Jungle into a movie yet, but stuff like The Shining obviously is a huge one.
Silence of the Lambs,
American Psycho is another one that I enjoy the movie. I haven't read it, but
I'm hoping that Dune becomes my favorite book to movie adaptation. That would be freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm getting even more excited for that now.
I know. Obviously, there's all the different iterations of Little Women, that come out. We had the Greta Gerwig one,
the best one
last year. Yeah, it's really, really good. That one's great. Room is a recent one that was also based off of a book.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. To hook it back to my man Denis, even though doesn't matter. Ridley Scott for the first original Blade Runner off of the Android stream of sheep or something like that.
Electric Sheep.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that book just gave an idea for the movie. I don't think that book is actually like Blade Runner.
Gotcha.
I don't know for sure though. I've never read it, but Blade Runner, I mean, it's one of the best sci-fi movies ever, and I'm a huge sci-fi dude, so.
I'm thinking of Ending Things was based on a book.
Really?
Yeah. I heard that's good. And Clockwork Orange, here's the thing. I like A Clockwork Orange, but I get to be the supremacist this time because I read the book of A Clockwork Orange because it's very short. But I think it's so much better than the movie.
Oh, really?
I think it's so much better. Especially the ending of the book because the movie ends before the book does. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the ending is just wrong in the movie.
Jeez.
But the book is very tough to read sometimes because it's filled with, you get it in the movie as well, but it's filled with slang. So a sentence like, "Oh, me and the I forget, I don't remember all the slang. Me and the Bolshies went to the Moloko bar with our Brit fuzz and got a guy in his gob and watched the Krabi run."
Great.
And that was a sentence I just said, where I basically said, me and the boys went to the bar and stabbed a dude in the face and watched the blood pour out of it. Nice. And there's no, at least in the one I read, there wasn't a glossary or whatever. It was just kind of context. Just get the context and figure it out. So it is a daunting read at first, but it's very rewarding to be able to read this basically alien language. Be like, oh yes, Kravi. I see.
Yeah.
The good old in out. It's a real horror show, you know.
Interesting. There's
It is
like a
interesting.
million. I'm sure we missed like 500,000.
Shrek.
Yeah.
I like Shrek. Shrek was a book, right?
I don't know.
Pretty sure Shrek was a book, so Shrek is my answer.
Shrek.
It's his answer as well. There you go. There you have it. We got
One more.
Thank you guys again so much. Always appreciate emails. Even if you don't
Yes,
have questions so specific, if you have something that you want us
Hate
to
mail.
talk about, hate mail too. Hate mail's great. If you have something that maybe you want us to do a spotlight on, you know, like could you take an episode to talk about this director or this whatever?
For
Feel
sure.
free to send that stuff into or leave a comment, send an email, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's titled Bad Movies. Hey guys, I was curious, what are some of your favorite bad movies? Not really so bad they're good, like The Room, but more movies that are just bad in a general sense. Those 3 out of 10 movies that we all love to watch for one reason or another. Thanks.
All right. I have a very easy answer for this one.
An answer that I don't think is going to mean anything to almost anybody.
This movie came out, I think, like 2009. It's called The Darkest Hour.
Not to be confused with Darkest Hour.
Right. And listen, this is crazy. So this is like an alien invasion movie.
Sci-fi. It's right up
Aliens,
your alley.
Sci-fi movie. Yeah, right up my alley. This has one of my favorite, like, okay, this movie's trash, but I love it. I, like, love this movie.
Yeah.
It has, like, one of my favorite just, like, ideas for, like, an alien. They're completely invisible, but you can only see them by, like, if they're, like, close to, like, electricity, like, a light bulb will, like, light up.
Electrical interference.
Yeah. And if they touch you, you, like, instantly disintegrate into nothingness.
So
and
basically,
it's just-
if there was one, like across the room from you, and a lamp was off, if it was by the lamp would turn on.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. And then they figure out later how to, like, make it so you can see them, so you can, like, shoot them or whatever. But it's a really cool movie, and I think that's a really interesting idea. And
I think it's really cool ideas. I don't think the movie is cool, but I think it
it
has
is.
cool ideas.
It is cool.
I've seen it. I did watch it.
I like it.
Everything except for the ideas is not good.
I like it. Trish from Jessica Jones is in it.
True,
She dies.
She does.
Spoilers. Big spoilers. Very emotional scene when she bites it.
Certainly.
She gets turned to dust. Yeah, I love The Darkest Hour. People be hating on it. But listen, the dude that I think directed it, like, hasn't made anything sense, but I think I saw on IMDb that he's got, like, a new movie coming out. And listen, I'm hyped.
That's good. I'm
hyped
glad.
for my man. I don't know his name.
Right.
While you talk, you know what? I'm going to figure out what his name
Sure.
is.
Fine. I won't be talking for very long.
The Darkest Hour, baby.
So
Let's
hurry
go. Watch it if you haven't seen it. All right.
I
let me know.
already spoke about it earlier. This is just always the first thing that comes to my mind is the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, yeah.
Mila
Yeah.
Jovovich, because everyone pretty much agrees that they're bad, but I can ignore the bad parts and just enjoy the good parts, you know, because a lot of the action in it, like Mila Jovovich, she is an action star as far as I am concerned, you know.
Right.
She just handles it very well. And even though some of the scenes are just stolen from the video games, you know, maybe masquerading as an homage, but maybe not actually, it's just fun action, you know. It's just like, don't think about it too hard, just kind of enjoy the show, you know. It's like Tenet in that way. As far as anything else, because I have spoken about that before, so not so bad they're good, but just bad in general sense, I don't really know. I don't watch enough stuff that is considered bad anymore. You know, there's so much good stuff out there, like, you know, these classics, these critically acclaimed, blah blah, blah. There's like thousands now because film has been alive for so long,
Right.
that it's really tough for me to, unless it's for this show, to pick a movie that is not critically acclaimed or, you know, acclaimed by audiences in some way, to find hidden gems like that anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of sad about that. I hope I can find more. If you have any that you think are bad in general sense, please tell us. I would love to know. I'd love to give some a watch and tell you what I think. I guess I do have an answer, and it's a lot of horror movies, because a lot of horror movies get really bad reviews. but I'm a sucker for some horror in my life, some good old gore and fun. I like slashers the most.
For sure.
Monsters are a close second, like small monsters. I like those too.
Interesting.
What's his name? Tell me his name.
Okay, so listen to this. Chris Gorak, director of The Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the name, but I know, because it wasn't showing up, but I know I saw that he was making another movie. Maybe it got canned.
Was it a dream?
I don't know. No, I know I saw it. Plus, when I looked it up on my phone, when I went to director credits, it says 2 of 3.
Oh.
But it only shows 2. But there means there's a third one.
That's
it's coming. But listen to this. This is even more interesting.
Okay.
One of the writers for The Darkest Hour, John Spates. I think that's how you say his name. Listen to this. So he participated on Prometheus.
Okay.
Doctor Strange.
Whoa.
Passengers. The Mummy. The newest Mummy.
Yeah.
But listen. Dune. He's on Dune.
Bruh. That's so good.
That's insane.
That is pretty insane.
He's on Dune, my man. Look at this. He went from Darkest Hour to Dune.
The Darkest Hour.
The Darkest Hour to Dune. You can't tell me my man didn't have talent. And then apparently he's working on Dune: The Sisterhood, which I didn't even know about, a TV series.
I didn't know about that
And
either.
he's working on the pilot. Writing? I mean, bro, my man's... Look at this. So The Darkest Hour is just one of the most revolutionary movies of the 2010s.
Become a professor and teach about it.
The world will know about The Darkest Hour and how it influenced cinema forever.
Honestly, as someone who didn't really like that much, I still think it's worth a watch because it is a very interesting idea. You know, I'm not saying that you'll like it, but I'm saying that you probably won't hate it. Maybe.
It's great. I love it.
I mean, people really don't.
It's
like
a great
it, though.
movie.
But I think that's about gonna wrap it up for today.
Thanks for the questions.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. Real good time had by all, I hope. Next, Spotlight.
Yeah, it's a big one.
This is a big one. What is it?
This is a big one. We're going to be talking about the director, the director, Christopher Nolan. I
don't think anybody heard Christopher and was thinking anything but Nolan. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, I got to build the suspense.
Build the suspense a little bit. We're going to talk about Chris Nolan because, I mean, I have pretty mixed feelings about Christopher Nolan in general.
Same.
He is... Well, we'll talk about it. You know what?
Yeah,
You're not getting a taste. You're not getting it out of me. You almost did.
Yeah. Because, you know, Tenet just came out, so we'll be talking. He's only got like 11 movies or something like that.
Yeah, that's not too much, and we've seen most of them already.
Seen basically all of them. So we're going to be going in depth.
So we'll probably have some long weeks, maybe, potentially. No promises, but maybe.
Yeah.
So a lot of random stuff next week, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Christopher Nolan, get ready to get stagged.
Okay, we're not doing that. That's not.
You don't like that?
Get stagged? No.
Get stagged.
I don't think there's anything you can make good out of
staggered.
No, there's nothing. Stagged.
No, okay.
Staggerized.
Fine.
Staglerized.
You know who doesn't care? John Spates, because he wrote the screenplay, part of the screenplay, because I know whatever. There's multiple.
Good for him. Let's not waste any more of the listeners' times, and I think it's time for us to just say, Blazooble.
Blazooble.
We'll see you next time.